los chat. Musste ich jetzt geschickt habe.
And with that, hello. Welcome everyone. We are back after yesterday's shenanigans. Oh, I thought we were going to have nightmares with that diversion yesterday, but we managed. Hello, Mark. How are you? And Peter, hello. Goodfred, hello to you as well. Luke, hello. Bob, nice to see you. Pilot 19, hello. And Forward, good EV. And let me say hello to Tommy. Hello.
Hello.
And as always, guys, if Tommy is too quiet, let me know. He should be all right with the volume levels. I can change that. And so yes, we're doing a pre-release stream of the Creator of Worlds DA40-XLS.
Your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight entertainment will be
alerts
served.
To finish.
Thank you.
Lewis, thank you so much. Fit 25
Hello
months.
at Black Box 711.
Hello, Lewis, and welcome. Thank you so much for the 25 months. So, Tommy, you have been here on the stream when we showcased the Diamond. Was it 42?
Yeah, the 42.
Yeah.
That was mid 23, I think.
Was it that long ago? Oh my god.
It was long ago because it was like really far before release, because we released it in February last year.
Oh no. Okay.
It's almost February this year, so it's been a whole year.
Crazy.
And I remember that stream was like August or something. That was
crazy how time flies. My god.
Yeah.
All right, and so you've been busy. You said to me offline for a year now you've been programming the DA40-XLS.
Correct. So pretty much, actually slightly before the release of the 42, we started slowly working on the 40. And basically ever since the 42 released, basically 50-50 on both, still improving both planes as time passes. And yeah, this one is finally in the, how do I say, I can finally sort of get it out finally, I guess.
So
how many times can I say finally in a sentence?
And but so release is very, very close.
Very, very close, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And now the Diamond aircraft, Diamond as a company, they have had a phenomenal kind of career, bringing out so many fantastic, although expensive aircraft, which are used by many flight schools these days. And I think that's really what makes this attractive for many people, especially those that either pursue a PPL or maybe CPL training, or even go in flight schools. And of course, yeah.
Sorry, you go first. Sorry for interrupting you.
No worries. And so I think this is a market definitely that is interesting, and that's why I think you guys looked into making these extremely highly detailed, with many system features and so on included, right?
Yeah. So I mean, when it comes to real life stuff, I mean, a brand new 172 kind of costs the same. So a brand new 172 is like 400,000 now.
Oh, okay. Ouch.
I think this plane's also around 450, 500,000.
Okay.
So it's like they're.
Yeah, I mean, but we talked, I think the DA42, wasn't that like in 1.5 million or something?
Yeah, I think when it first came out, it was, I mean, this was, good old 2000s times. It was like 800,000, 600,000. Now it's like 1.3, 1.5.
Wow. Okay, so
it's crazy.
Yeah, for an aircraft, but I think it just has to do with all the systems and the safety features and so on, and performance.
It's aviation,
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So you said pre-stream. You're not the person that's doing the visuals, textures and so on.
Correct.
So you're doing more the systems. Anything else as we are outside here you want to mention, or shall we go pop in to the cockpit?
So yeah, it's pretty obvious that there's no walk-around features yet.
Mm-hmm.
As I said earlier, this plane has been in development for actually more than a year now, and FS24 just came out 2 months ago.
Mm.
So it's if I would try to get those features in, I'll probably need another. The plane will probably need another couple of months. So.
Yeah.
I think it's best to get it out first, and I can work on the walk-around features sort of parallel with the 42 and the... I said parallel 42.
Yeah.
I can work on the two planes parallel.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Yeah. We already talked just prior to the stream about the fact that you bring this out for both Microsoft 2020 and for Microsoft 2024. And obviously, there are challenges still with Microsoft 2024. So we are showcasing this today in Microsoft 2024. Hence, if anything does not work 100% yet, it's also due to the fact that Microsoft 2024 still needs a lot of improvements.
Yeah. So initially, the plane is created in FS20, and then obviously migrated to 24. Whenever FS24 has its own marketplace, we'll make an FS24 specific version. So it has the newer version of the G1000 and some other stuff that's new to FS24.
Okay.
But at the moment, it's mainly going to be a FS20 release that is on both.
Okay. And there's sort of questions coming in. Has it got a walk around on the tablet yet? But you said it's not implemented yet anyways, but...
Yeah, I think he means like an HOA style.
Okay.
With the internal model that's externally with the cameras.
Okay, yeah.
No, we don't have that.
Okay, and another question was, do they fly different depending on the version? So 2020 or 2024?
No, they're identical, basically. Okay. The only difference would be, I think, is the G1000. So in FS24, there's the G1000 V2, it's called, just in the background in the code. It has the pathways feature, the highway in the sky thingy, and the EFB, the EFB import system.
Okay.
So if you make a flight plan in the EFB in FS24 right now, it will not be able to migrate over into the G1000. Again, until the FS marketplace is available, it's gonna have to be like that for now.
Yeah, but that's not your fault. That's within Microsoft 2024's issues. Yeah. Okay, just remember that it would be a good idea to bring up the product features page. So it says systems, for example, fully custom DA40 EIS page with lean assist and interface to control failures and other features. We'll have a look at that once we're powered up. It has an accurate electrical system with circuit breakers, alternator voltage simulation, and parasitic losses. It has custom standby flight instrumentation, custom AFCS and trim system with adjustable speed, custom lighting that warms up and responds to system voltage. So at nighttime, we'll have a look at nighttime lighting as well. And so then it has engine damage, state saving, and 130 plus random failures. And I think this is where, this aircraft becomes, of course, then interesting for those that fly this in real life or doing training on it, etc., etc. That's always a fantastic feature. Automatic localizer backcore switching and multiple fixes to native Asoba systems. Then sounds, very important. As yesterday we've discussed that again with the Boris sound file that was published for the 737, how important sounds are to the flight sim community. So the sounds are developed from the creator of sounds behind the Chaos DA42. Whoops, that was my controller. DA42 series, the fly-by-wire A320 NX series, Flight FX Vision Jet, and others.
We should honestly put in the 737 sound pack as well.
Yeah, so definitely
just released that also like 2 weeks ago as well.
Okay, so you can see that a lot of care has been taken to make sure the sounds are very accurate here in the DA40 as well. Dynamic engine, wind, and ground roll sounds. We'll listen to that later. Engine sound differ depending on prop pitch, fuel flow, and speed. Very nice. Dynamic wind sounds, howling sounds, and slips and drag noises. Remind me please later to test that. Sounds directly from a local DA40-XLS, and it has headset simulation, which we'll try out as well. Visual model, light-baked photorealistic reflections, ray-traced shadows, and lighting textures. Faithful exteriors, model cross-referenced with hundreds of pictures. Intricate interior, model featuring modded and heavy wear. 2 interior options of black panels and standard gray furnishings. Okay, interesting. Where would you change those?
So some of the liveries, so in this one that you have right now, the flight school livery has a black panel, for example.
Okay, so that's with the liveries itself. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's tied to the livery.
Then we got subtle and futuristic photo overlays for incredible lifelike textures, all placards sourced and positioned from Diamond maintenance manuals. Exterior features, realistic moderate to heavy dirt, wear matching reference DA40. Is that linked then to the wear system? Or is there a way to change the age of the aircraft?
No, not really. It's basically new, and if you abuse it, then it becomes a little bit older.
Yeah, but that's in the region of then the wear and tear kind of simulation.
Yeah.
Then we've got fiberglass scratching on the fuselage, wings, and empennage. So scratching is simulated. Realistic bug splatter, okay, on the leading edge of wings, cowlings, and various other areas. That's cool.
I don't know. I think it's an American flight school thing, but they don't clean the planes there.
Yeah, so I already can see some splatters there. It seems like on the leading edge there.
Like almost all the clubs and stuff here in Europe, they even charge you 20 euros if you didn't clean the plane before.
Yeah, good thing.
I mean, it really helps because on some planes of I'm rambling right now, but some planes of laminar flow wings and the bugs actually do take off like 5 knots, and you notice it. So
yeah, you see exactly these aircraft. I mean, why shouldn't they be so optimized for fuel efficiency and so on, right? So yeah, any kind of dirt on the leading edges especially will, just like ice on wings, or frost on wings will cause issues with the laminar flow. Yeah. Cool. So we got subtle panel vibrations during ignition, takeoff, and landing to include free castering nose gear shimmy. The engine model, accurate engine performance in relation to manifold pressure, RPM, and pumping losses. Custom combustion simulation for startup. Throttle valve, Venturi, fuel servo, and induction system simulation. And then per cylinder, mixture fuel atomization, EGT, CHT, spark, air, and oil cooling simulation. Custom fuel and oil pressure system simulation, and pair user randomly generated engine variants and behaviors to provide everyone with a unique experience. Very nice. So lots of interesting. Yeah, I can imagine.
I really enjoyed making that.
Okay.
It's my favorite part of the plane. It's just the engine model.
And so yeah, each kind of variant, so each different livery that you use will have a slightly different behavior. Then is that what it says?
It's not livery based. It's just user based.
Okay.
So. I guess as it says, so when you first load the plane, how do I say? Each fuel injector will have a slightly different fuel flow. And that causes a different mixture per cylinder, and each cylinder has slightly different cooling and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So some people will have, I kind of write it down a little bit in the manual, but for example, some people have like a leaner running engine, and some people have a richer running engine. Some will idle at like 700 RPM, some will idle at 800 RPM, and it's because if you ever flown these planes in real life, they're just all different, and it's something I noticed when just doing research on the planes.
Nice.
It's like one of them has the hottest cylinder on number 1, one is number 3, one has a hotter EGT on number 2. One of them is pretty much the same on all, and it's
nice.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite parts of this plane, just the engine model.
Yeah, nice. Then for the flight model, obviously that's also important for the flight simulators. So it's got accurate performance and handling with over 1,000 hours of testing from DA40 pilots, students, and instructors. Very nice. Replicated performance and behaviors on maneuvers from FAA's commercial airplane ACS to include lazy aids, chandeliers, steep spirals, and aids on pylons. Nice. So again, those that have the aircraft in flight school IRL, then yeah, they should be able to replicate that very nicely.
Yeah. So our 3 artist, he's actually a DA40 instructor, and he just took the plane out and did some maneuvers, filmed it all, and we just tried to replicate it. We replicated it all in flight sim. Nice.
Yeah. Very cool. And then the accurate precision landing performance, descent rate, induced drag to replicate short field approach and landings, power off, 180-degree accuracy approach and landings, airframe shakes during ground power-ups, we'll check that later, and hot swappable castering or steerable nose gear. And what's that? Yep. Hot swappable castering?
So in real life, if you look at the plane, the nose wheel is castering, so it's like a shopping cart. There's no connection to the steering pedals.
Okay.
However, so you need differential braking to steer on the ground.
That makes sense.
And so what we've done is so in FS20 it was the G key, the toggle key for your landing gear. I think in FS24 it's the hash or the slash key, I'm not sure. I don't know because I just press it on the controller.
Okay.
And there are 3 modes. So normal is off. We can show it later on the G1000.
Okay.
Normal is off, where you need to apply braking to steer yourself. Then there's the brake mode, auto brake mode, which basically, if you give rudder input, it will apply brake for you on that side.
Okay.
So
that's easy mode.
If you just have a twist joystick, you can. So after 50% rudder input, it'll start applying up to 30% brake input on one side of the plane.
Nice.
So you get kind of the realistic taxi experience, as in the annoying taxi experience, without needing the hardware. And it's one of my favorite ways to control the plane. And then there's the nose wheel steering mode, which actually just makes the front wheel steerable.
Okay, so that's
also for people who don't have pedals and all that equipment. If they just want a steerable nose wheel, they don't care for the braking. They just want it to work all the time.
Okay, nice.
They can just switch to that.
So different settings of realism there regarding taxiing. Fantastic. So and then we've got brake fade and tire rolling resistance. Okay. So yeah, you can see a lot of things modeled there. With this document that you're going to get, there's a link obviously to the real-world checklists you can download, and I've done that. So we'll do the procedures according to real-world checklists. Also, you have important information like the V-speeds or maximum speeds. So we'll have those ready as well later on to make sure we don't overspeed things. Yes, that actually brings me to the point. What happens if you overspeed the aircraft here? In the sim?
In FS24, it's actually a bug I reported. In FS20, of course, it shakes, and if you eventually you get the crash message. In FS20, it doesn't do anything.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, cool.
It's weird. I don't know why it's like that. It's just the standard FS behavior stuff.
Okay, no worries. All right, so let's hop into the flight deck then. And so we are flying around the Grand Canyon. So we have the Grand Canyon Airport right here. And we'll do a nice visual trip around, look at the aircraft, listen to the sounds, and highlight some of the features. One thing I saw in another stream, there's a document back here, but you can't click it. Or
it's just the book thrown in the back.
Yeah. Okay, so kind of what you would do in IRL. Okay, nice. Cool. Then anything you want to mention before we start?
I don't know. No, that's probably good. Honestly, I really like the ray tracing light on the standby attitude indicator. That looks cool. Yeah. I just noticed that. Yeah. Because I'm in FS20 most of the time, so I don't have the ray traced shadows. But like on the standby attitude indicator, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Very nice. Cool. All right, so let's assume we've already done the outside check, pre-flight check, baggage, tow bars, everything's secured, parking brake is set here. Oh, you just mentioned something regarding the toggle key for the brakes. And what do we need to search regarding
steering mode?
Steering mode.
Toggle landing gear. Oh, sorry. Actually, I wrote it down in the. Just type in gear, actually.
Okay, gear. Okay, we'll type in gear.
Toggle landing gear. X.
Oh, that's for the. Okay, so that's the key that goes through the 3 different
modes. Yes.
Okay. All right, and then you will have the indication then on the IAS then.
Yeah, on the G1000, just a short little 2-second pop-up.
Okay.
The idea is that it's just hot swappable. So if you want to use a realistic mode, but it's just too cumbersome, you can just press the button and you have nose wheel steering instantly, and then you can maneuver yourself out.
Okay. Well, we're definitely going to try that. See the most realistic, and then we'll try the other ones as well. Cool. Then we got alternate air closed. where to find
That's
alternate
by
air.
your right knee, if you think about it.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's
Under the panel.
yeah. So that's on, and that says off. Okay, that's off. Fantastic. So electric master is off. Then we have avionics master off. Essential bus is off. Alternate static closed. Alternate static, I find.
So you see the red arrow on the side, on the left. Sorry.
Yeah, so below that, okay.
It's pointing. It's like under, by where your left knee would be. It's that little.
This one here, like a silvery.
Yes.
Rotate. Okay, that's the alternate static. That is
pointing
closed.
to the right is off.
Yeah, fantastic.
Closed, yeah.
Yeah, so all electrics off. Horizon emergency switch off and guarded. Where's horizon emergency horizon switch? Oh, there
on
it is.
the top.
Yeah,
On the top of the
big
panel.
red. What does that do?
It's a standby battery for the artificial horizon and floodlights.
Okay, cool.
It's a little. It should provide like 45 minutes of, in case of complete electrical failure at night or AMC. At least you still have a gyro.
Nice. Okay. Then we have ELT armed circuit breakers. So since they are simulated, we will check them all in. Right. So yeah, these are of course clickable, all modeled.
Make sure they're all in before.
Yeah, checked all in. So that's what something you have to do here. So flap selector up, correct. Then we've got the pitot heat off. This is here. And then the electric fuel pump is off. And then we go already power up the aircraft. So we go electric master on. That is on. Rudder pedal is adjusted. Passenger instructed. Seatbelts fastened. Adjustable backrest upright. Rear door closed and
You
latched.
press the avionics master.
Have I? What do I? Where's the
You have to
electric
press
master?
the big red button.
So the alternate battery or the essential bus? Hang on, which?
No, didn't it say electric master on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the red button in the front, yes.
Yeah,
You
but
have the three.
Yeah,
It's the bat.
It says so the battery. That's called the electric master.
Yeah, I don't know why it's called electric master in the checklist. It should be called battery master.
Yeah, it would save confusion. All right, so we've got the rudder pedals adjusted, passenger instructed, seatbelts fastened, backrests set, rear door closed and latched, front canopy position 1 or 2. Well, first it's closed now.
Yeah, it's not relevant for flight simulation. There's like a half open position for the canopy.
Okay, so
so you can let air in, but it's not really relevant for.
I mean, you can open a little window as well. Let's do that for engine start later on. Cool. Then we have the G1000 power acknowledged. We have acknowledged that. And then fuel quantity checked. So yeah, pretty much full. Then the fuel selector full tank now. Both of them are full, so we'll start with the left tank. Then we have MFD engine system. Right, so here's engine system. Wonderful. Look at that. Very cool, big indications there. Fuel quantity reset set if required. So reset.
So the fuel totalizer?
Yeah, to the right.
And you have to reduce it by 10 gallons because we have 40 gallons of fuel.
Okay, decrease fuel. So you match. It doesn't do that automatically.
No.
Ah, okay.
TOS system test.
What a coincidence! The DA40 has 40 usable gallons of fuel.
Yeah.
in it
Okay. Well, it's easy to remember. Yeah.
What a coincidence! The 42 also has 42 gallons of usable fuel when you start it.
Yeah. Nice. So this is maximum. You can't go above that. Anyways, it shows up to 25 per tank, but you can't.
So per tank is 26 minus 1 unusable, and the max indication you can get is 24 per side.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of dead zone at the top, and you see there's a dead zone between I think it's 15.5 and 18.5 gallons,
Okay.
which is marked on the gauge.
But for the fuel calculator, you set that to 40 then.
Yeah.
Okay. So total time in service would be noted 0.2. It's a brand new aircraft. So MFD engine default. So we go back again, I guess. That's default.
It's for the G1000, the NXI has this full engine page.
Hmm?
There are probably some DA40s that have those smaller pages, if you know it,
Yeah.
if you remember
Oh, okay.
from other planes.
All right. Good. So strobe light, so ASL strobe light on. And then propeller area clear. Wow, we're already starting up. Cool. Right, startup. So this is the thing. There is a special engine start procedure. So we have to talk about this. So we have a cold engine. So first of all, throttle half.
So first of all, I'll put the prop lever forward.
Yeah, forward. And then, yeah, so then... Yeah.
So for priming, you see the throttle lever? The bottom edge of that throttle lever needs to be aligned with the bottom of the E of the throttle text.
Right here, like this. Okay.
Yeah, that's sort of the ideal priming position.
Ah, okay. So that's to remember that lower side, the lower side of the E. Okay, cool.
Then you turn on the fuel pump.
Running.
And then you will put the mixture rich for 5 seconds and then cut off again.
Just that
So
simple
0.
sounds. Okay, so mixture just 5 seconds or 5 to 10?
5 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then lean again.
Yep.
And then start and engage. Mixture full rich when engine fires.
Not yet. What I would do is I would pull the same way we have the bottom edge of the throttle on the E, I
Yeah.
put the top edge on the E.
So
So
you
basically move the throttle back the same thickness of the
yeah.
lever.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
done.
a good starting setting.
Okay. And then start. And now we got to be ready to move the mix to full rich once the engine fires. Otherwise, the engine, of course, will not run.
Yes.
All right. Let's do that. Oh. Oh no. Okay, hang on. There we go. So it's a bit tricky. I guess I have to prime again.
No, I think you're overprimed because you.
Okay. There we go.
I find it a bit silly that the. Oh, is it running?
Yeah, it's running. Okay, got it.
Yay.
Nice. So it is tricky, but I think that's just like in the real aircraft as well, right?
Yeah. Especially because you're at higher altitude, you're at 4,000, 5,000 feet.
Oh, that's true.
So
Yeah,
you have thinner air, so it's a bit trickier.
That is true. Cool. So throttle 1,000 RPM. So we have nice big indications there, so that's easy to accomplish. Very nice. Yeah, 1,000 RPM. Voltage, electrical check indication. Alternator is still off, right?
Correct.
Okay. So voltage is 25.1, and of course no amps yet supplied because the alternator is still off.
So
oil-
then you have to turn it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the checklist is implying that you turn it on.
Okay.
Hello,
So then,
black box.
hey Brenold, nice to see you. Brenold, this might be an interesting aircraft for you. You like these GA aircraft. So we'll turn the alternator on, and then of course there was a sound change just there. Interesting. Okay.
Yep. The voltage, the fuel pump responds to the voltage, of course,
Okay.
and the load slows down the engine a tiny bit.
Yeah, that's true. That's a notice as well. Right now we have 28 volts in the system, and yeah, 9 amps being delivered from the alternator. Oil pressure check in the green band. So we have the oil temperature, oil pressure here in the green, and then annunciator. Make sure that there's no indications there that show us there's an issue with the engine. All good. Just says P2 off, that's all. And then electric fuel pump off. Oh, nice. So Brendel already has the Chaos DA42. Very nice.
Good purchase decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had some good fun. I remember that we had some good fun with the engine failure when we flew that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can see now the cylinders, so 4 cylinders, and the temperature in Fahrenheit of each of the cylinders. So 162, 176, 174, and 180.
So it looks like. So just looking at the EGTs, I mean, right now it's because the engine's still warming up, but cylinder 1 is your coldest.
Yeah.
It might be even the richest. That's just what because I obviously know how the simulation works, so I obviously know what that means.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So that's
you can see
how.
they are all
Yeah. Now they're warming up.
asymmetric.
Yeah. So now they're asymmetric. Yeah. Warming up as well. Very nice. So check after engine start. Oil pressure checked. Fuel selector switch tanks. Okay. So we're going to do that. Switch to the right tank. Pitot heat on. Ionization and amps checked. So pitot heat was there. On, and we've got 15 amps now. Of course, that pitot heat takes a lot of power, electrical power. So 15 amps and 27.5 volts. Oh, okay, and then it says avionic master on now. Okay, avionic master on, coming on. So just play around with that again. So you can see pitot off, amps drop to 9, voltage goes up a bit.
RPM also responds.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, you can see that. And you can hear that as well, the RPM just dropping ever so slightly. Very nice. Hey Andreas, moin, and Vilo. Yeah, nice, Vilo, yeah. So Vilo, do you have any real-world connection to the DA40? Because like I said, I think a lot of people that fly this IRL or have flown it IRL, they will definitely be very interested in this. Cool, so now we are in the FMS setup. We go to the initialize, and I'm not sure how that was obviously good work here in the in Microsoft 2024.
Sorry, what is that again? I missed it.
So it says FMS setup. So, I mean, we can obviously do some.
Oh yeah, that FMS setup is flight plan and.
Yeah, so flight plan, radius, com, and so on. So let's have a look. So origin. Is there a way also that we can type at the keyboard, or?
Yeah, it's the standard G1000. So when the keyboard symbol pops up thingy.
Let me see. So Brennell will know that. How do I get that keyboard symbol come up? I keep forgetting.
So you have to scroll down with the big knob once, and then you scroll with the small knob.
Okay.
That's how you start. That's how you open a field.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, yeah, Brennell, thanks. Okay, Brennell already noted that as well. So it's 1G4. So that's the. Oh, nice. Already gets automatic the ATIS. Nice. So there we go. Now we switch the ATIS off. Yes, so Brendan, I think Tommy answered that earlier in the chat. So Navigraph flight plans should work, and Simbury flight plans should also work, correct?
Correct, yeah. We even have the Navigraph plugin pre-integrated into the plane.
Okay.
So for Xbox users, they also get Navigraph with the plane.
Okay. And Vilo says for him, local flight school doesn't fly the DA40 or 42. Okay, that's a shame, man. Okay, so destination now. I did want to go. I'm just going to put in. Let me put in Flagstaff. Although I'm not sure if. Yeah, let's put in Lima 37. I think as a general direction there. Just so they have something in there. The Grand Canyon Caverns, they're called. Nice. All right. So just to have a general, here's the Grand Canyon, so we have a general orientation for us. Cool. So flight plan, radius, we don't need performance. So, okay, so performance, speed bugs.
I guess they just mean like pre-selecting the FLC mode, or just to go over it.
Yeah.
You know?
So it already has those inserted automatically, right?
Yeah.
So
you can edit them, but
yeah. No, I mean I don't see a reason to do so. So what's R speed? Do we have a reference?
Rotation.
So that's a rotation. X is the.
So the plane, so Vx is the best climb rate with flaps 1, and Vy is best climb with flaps 0.
Okay.
Flaps
Yeah.
up. It's weird. The plane doesn't really have a Vx. It has 2 Vys.
Okay.
It's kind of weird because it's weird. But
okay.
just consider 60 with as Vx.
So initial climb 60 with the flaps in the takeoff position, and then once we're clean, we have 67 for best climb, 76 knots G. I guess best glide speed in case of engine failure, and then NE never exceed 178. Okay, so the speeds are in.
So a normal climb speed, so as it says, rotate at 59 or 60, and then just let it accelerate to 70. That's a good normal climb speed, unless there's obstacles.
Okay. So
after flaps 80.
Yeah. So autopilot test. It says discount button press. That would be the red button on the. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be matched. I'm not sure why. Let me try that. Okay, that's wrong, obviously. So we want autopilot disconnect.
I think it's called disengage in.
Yeah. Set autopilot disengage or something?
Yes, that one will work.
Okay, so let's have a look. Go back, save and back. Resume.
So yeah, you can press the button and use your electric trim, and the trim should not move.
Electric trim? Where have I set electric trim? I thought there was manual trim. Oh no! If I okay, so hang on. If I use the trim wheel on the Bravo throttle quadrant, and if I press it, that disconnect button, then the trim doesn't move. Okay, that's what's meant by it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. As in, there's no way to, because MSFS doesn't have a manual trim and an electric trim bind. It's kind of all the same. So when the electric master's on, then it's electric trim. If it's off, then it's manual trim. Kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
But we've modeled that when you press the button and you trim, of course you can't distinguish between manual or electric trim, but it stops the trim function.
Yeah. So then we would put autopilot on. Check annotations. Okay.
The best way of testing it is to sync the heading bug.
Okay.
Then go heading mode and then turn the knob to the left. If it goes to the left, good. If it goes to the right, it's good.
Okay, so heading is synced, autopilot on. Heading. Yeah.
And then look at the yoke. Yeah.
Let's have a look.
And confirm that the yoke is moving.
Yeah, the stick is moving. Yeah, correct. Cool. Nice.
And then you can use your trim up and down. So what I always do is big red button, check the electric trim, that it stops, then autopilot on, heading mode, left, right, and then I use the trim button to disable the autopilot.
Yeah, that works as well. Cool. Okay. Nice.
And one thing I noticed, you said you have that Bravo yoke, right?
Not the yoke, the throttle quadrant.
And it has that wheel on it, right?
Yeah.
So what you can do is go into the engine page, and then press the menu key.
Engine, and then menu. Yep.
Welcome
On the bottom
aboard the
is
Captain Blackbox
trim
Twitch
speed.
channel subscriber
You
experience.
can scroll down with
Could
the
new
big knob,
subscribers please make
and
your
I
way
would
to the
recommend
first
just
class
putting it straight to
cabin,
3, straight
where
to the
complimentary
maximum.
drinks, snacks, and premium
Because,
flight
you know,
entertainment will be
you probably know
served.
how slow that
Thank
thing
you.
is to
Yeah.
trim that
Okay.
wheel.
Okay, so
Very
that's interesting. Brendel, thank you much for gifting us up to Bob. Thank you so much, Brendel. Dankeschön. And then Ali, hello. And Automarket says General VX is considered best angle of climb, and VY is the best rate of climb. Okay, kind of difference. Where's the navigraph in the plane? Vilo asks.
So when you scroll, I don't have it on top of my head because I need the plane in front of me to do it. When you are on the, so when you are on the normal map page, you can press the chart button.
Charts.
So
There we go. Hang on. Let me just enter that. Yeah, but that's what I love people asking these questions, because otherwise I wouldn't not have asked it myself. So thank you much for that. So the other thing is that, of course, here we don't really have any charts available on Grand Canyon West, but I'm planning to do maybe an approach into Palm Springs to test some, I don't know, some RNP approach or something. But yeah, it is here, yeah. Very nice, thank you. Cool.
So yeah, back to the engine page in the menu.
Yeah.
Probably saw some other options.
Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Now I'm.
I'll press the flight plan button. Maybe that kicks you out.
Yeah. That's it. Okay, cool. Yeah. So engine page. I'm in the engine page. Yeah.
Back on the menu button.
Menu.
Yeah, and as you can see on the top, we have the failures mode. So there are 4 modes basically. There's off, normal, which is a 5% chance of something failing once an hour. High is something will fail every hour, and then there's the chaos mode, which is every 30 seconds.
Okay, that's for those really. So hang on, how do I manipulate?
With the enter key.
Okay, enter normal, high, chaos. Oh, so every 30 seconds.
Yeah, for the stream, I'd recommend either off or just normal.
Yeah, we'll do it off initially until we feel comfortable enough to do some failures.
State saving is pretty self-explanatory. It saves the panel state, fuel state, and payload state.
Yeah, we'll have that on.
Engine damage, also pretty self-explanatory. That enables the engine damage. So if you don't warm it up correctly, if you cool it down too much, too fast, if you give it too much power when it's cold.
Yeah, nice.
If you improper leaning, it also enables the lead fouling. So you need to clean the mixture.
So the only way you would find the spark plug fouling, let's say, is by the engine behaving differently after a while. You don't have a separate page somewhere in the menus or anything.
No. So the plane basically reacts to all the damage and all the effects basically applied to it. So you will notice that the idle might jump around a bit.
Okay, there we go. So and then we got a realistic parking brake. This would be.
It means you have to press the brakes and then close the valve.
Yeah, we'll do that because I have rudder pedals, so we'll do that. And then engine starter with mixture off. No.
So that's also an accessibility feature, just like with the steerable nose wheel system. It's for people who don't have hardware, who don't have like a mixture lever and don't have a starter lever. So the way you can picture it is there's a button on the bottom of this, on the end stop of the mixture lever. So when you pull the mixture lever back, and it's gonna basically turn the starter for you.
Okay.
And then when the engine fires, you can push the mixture forward and start. You can basically start it one-handed.
Okay.
I've done it with an Xbox controller myself.
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, it's important, of course, yeah. There will be people with Xbox controllers, yeah.
Exactly, because we're planning to release it to Xbox as well.
Yeah.
And we want, of course, a realistic experience, but we also need to make it, possible, because that's going to be impossible to start. The plane will be impossible to start with with an Xbox controller,
Yeah.
just without any special features.
Yeah, excellent. Hey Voyager, moin. And Brennan, we're flying from Grand Canyon Airport, flying along the Grand Canyon, have a look at that, and then fly towards the south. And then later, I think we'll do it around in Palm Springs, because I have the scenery for Palm Springs, I think. And then we'll do an RP approach there, which would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you happen to know what the wind direction is at the airport? Because your CHTs are pretty pretty hot.
Oh, okay. So it should be it was like 3 knots from the south east, I think.
Okay. I would turn the plane around before it.
Okay. So
I mean, it seems to be leveled at 430-ish. I see.
Oh, okay. So we're close to damaging it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's. And I have to press so I have to press the right rudder pedal, the brake pedal to get the aircraft turning.
Yeah.
So we are in completely realistic mode here.
If you press the gear toggle button,
Then,
remember that?
Yeah, X1, yeah.
Then you get the pop-up, and as you apply rudder pressure, it will apply brake for you. It didn't pop up yet. You should, it will see a little pop-up on G1000 when you press it.
Okay, yeah.
Was it X on your keyboard or something? Or?
Yeah, it was actually. Like, so press the pedals, brake set. So let's try that again. Controls, keyboard, search by input. That was.
It's gone.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was an X on like one of your.
Controls.
Maybe it wasn't the X on the keyboard. Maybe it was X for like a joystick or something.
Let me just check something here.
Might have been the wrong device.
Yeah. All right. So we go again with the keyboard. We'll have. So what was the command called again? Gear, right? Gear.
Yeah, toggle landing gear.
Yeah, all right. So there we go.
Gear toggle landing something.
So we'll have that on X, toggle landing gear keyboard. Right.
That's like the normal G button in FS20 or the whatever it's normally.
Oh, there we go. Steer brake is now on the.
So as you apply rudder pressure, it will apply brake for you automatically.
And then it says steer nose with steering. It pops up there. So it's a short pop-up only. But like I said, so if you only have like yeah, that's it. So now I'm just moving the rudder pedals and it already turns just like you would normally find any other add-on, really.
Yep.
So this is steering off, so now I have to use the differential braking. And with steer brake, you just move the rudder pedals and it
applies brake for you, yeah.
Okay, nice. So we'll have that off. Cool. Right, yeah, so you can see already we've taxed it a bit and the CHTs have gone down a bit.
Yeah, just turning it around.
Please make your way to the first
Yeah.
class cabin,
Yeah.
where complimentary drinks,
Cool, that's
snacks,
good.
and
So
premium
we're
flight
safe for a few more
entertainment will
seconds.
be served.
Hey Alpha, wie geht's?
Thank you.
And 91 months.
Hello,
Incredible.
smile.
Hello, Alpha. Happy weekend. Ich hoffe, dir geht's gut. 91 months. Incredible. Thank you so much for that. So many, we were just going through the options. So panel shake on, obviously, then reset damage. Yeah, so if you damage the engine or anything, you can reset that. Reset failures as well. And yeah, we talked about the trim speed here. So now I've set this to 3. So when I turn the trim wheel on my Bravo throttle quadrant, it'll turn the wheel a bit different.
Should be better for you.
Yeah, cool. All right, so let's have a look. Position lights on. Let's continue with the procedure. Then flaps. We'll check full travel. There they go down. Have those on both sides, obviously. And then we check them go both up again. Full travel, and then for takeoff, we'll set that as well. Takeoff flap setting set. So altimeters already set 2986 according to the weather report. Transponder code. So transponder. I guess US it is 1200
Yeah.
on. And then parking brake release during taxi. Checks, yeah, brakes checked, instruments checked, and then we have before takeoff. Parking brake set. Backrest, seatbelts.
Line up checklist.
Yeah. The front comedy closed and latched. Door warning lights are off. Engine instruments green range check. All checked. Circuit breakers again all checked. Mixture rich. It is rich. And then run up. Throttle 2000 RPM. I love how everything shakes.
Yeah.
2000 RPM. Then prop controlled cycle 3 times and then high.
So yeah, the first cycle, if you remember from good old GA planes, there's oil in the governor.
Yeah.
And when the plane sits for a while, the oil obviously drains out. So we have that simulated in this plane as well.
Okay,
So
nice.
the first cycle takes one or 2 seconds longer ish,
Yeah.
and then the other ones kind of respond instantly.
Yeah. Nice. That's
Also-
cool.
So also, if you were not to perform your run up and you jam the throttle in, the engine will always speed slightly. But
Oh, okay.
the-
Yeah. So. Yeah.
The prop pitch is tuned so the engine won't really overspeed much anyway,
Mhm.
but it's still like 30-50 RPM, and then it drops back down to
Nice.
2,700.
Nice. So yeah, you have to really take care of the engine. Then we check the magneto. So left, that's about a drop of 100. Yeah, about 100, and then to the right, that's about 70. So magneto's checked. We have rechecked the circuit breakers. Oh yeah, the max drop is 150.
150 total, and I think 50 between each mag.
Okay.
And the mag drop is also randomized with the variance system, so the timing between each mag is slightly different.
Nice.
So one might be like 1 degree ahead of the other one, which causes a less or more drop, depending
Nice.
on which one.
Yeah. So circuit breakers checked, voltage all checked, looking good, and then throttle idle.
It should still run at 4,500. If you're one of the say it's very low, it's very struggling to run, but it
Yeah.
runs. In general, the checklist is written for sea level.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are, of course, a little bit higher up here.
One of
Although
our
it's not,
testers,
yeah, it's the good thing is it's not that hot, so
one of our testers is basically same place you are, so 4,500 feet, and it's summer when it has 30 degrees. Yeah.
yeah,
Pulling idle with full ridge is sometimes actually kills the engine,
yeah,
and that's also modeled in this plane.
yeah. So I'm seeing that. Yeah, now that we're full rich, I have to put more RPM to get the oil pressure into the green band.
It's normal. It's normal when the oil is hot that it goes into the yellow a little bit.
Okay.
It's no problem.
So for ground operations, normally you would lean the engine as well, right? Especially at higher
Right,
altitudes. Yeah. So
Basically,
electric, yeah,
go peak RPM, and then
yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah. All right, so flaps check, takeoff, flight controls. Let's check the flight controls, all moving. Obviously, you would check that visually with the wing as well. Nice. Fuel selective, fullest tank. Let's have a look. So left tank is the fullest. We'll use the left tank. And then when cleared for lineup, electric pump on. Pitot heat as required. Yeah, we'll leave the pitot heat on for now. Transponder code checked, and then brakes release. All right, let's go flying, shall we? And so we leave that full ridge. For takeoff here, would you Would you leave it full rich?
I would pull it back, like, kind of like the thickness, so almost like a thumb thickness if you think about it, so like the thickness of the lever itself. So if you look down, I guess.
So this is full.
Beam the M. That's about it.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
about right.
There we go. All right, cool. So we're gonna taxi down.
And yeah, as the airspeed builds up, you know, the rudder actually becomes effective, and you can taxi decently.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, a little bit better now. Cool.
The plane's very fun in a crosswind with that nose wheel.
Okay. So we don't have beta range here, so.
In general, taxi power is like 1,200, 1,300 RPM.
Yeah.
That's enough to keep you going a good 10 knots or something.
So maybe I'm already going downhill here. So good. Then we'll put the taxi landing lights on for the lineup. So I have a little schematic there for the takeoff. So rotate at 59 knots roundabout, maybe a bit faster here, higher altitude. So 60 knots climb, yeah?
60, 70, 80. So rotate 60, initial climb 70, and final climb 80.
Okay, 60 and 80, all right. Then once the flaps are up, fuel pump off, landing lights off. Okay, cool. All right, let's do this. Vilo says, friend has a question for the DA40 for Xbox.
Yep, it will. We're also going to release it through the marketplace, and it will come to Xbox as well.
Yeah. So how's the performance on the DA40 for Xbox? There's sim stuttering sometimes. I'm flying the DA42 on the.
Really? Okay.
Shouldn't be the case, but yeah. Goat friend, thanks. Windows now closed. All right, let's line up. Oh, gotta be careful with the steering. Hang on, I think I've done something.
Sometimes you have to let it roll forward a little bit by itself, and then you can. I've noticed in FS24 the nose wheel does like to spin around a bit. So.
Gotta go forward a bit. Oh, God.
What's happening? There you go.
There. Oh. So this is realistic mode with the differential braking. Gotta be. So for takeoff, RPM-wise, if it goes in the amber, is that okay, or would you restrict that?
So 2,700 is takeoff, and 2,400 is afterwards.
Okay, so it's even though it's amber, it's not a problem.
No. It used to be an old prop limitation, 2,400 RPM, 2,700 RPM, but this prop is actually fine to run at 2,700 constant, and so is the engine.
Okay.
So it's an old limitation that still exists on some planes. It's a case of you know, ask 5 pilots and get 10 different answers. Yeah. Some DA40s don't have the yellow band, some do.
Okay.
And we modded with it.
Alrighty, cool. Done everything. Let's go. Let's fly. Oh yeah, and I have dialed down the sensitivities a little bit. I did a test flight earlier for my joystick. I've dialed down that to about 30% less or something.
Yeah,
so
the reactivity.
Yeah. So power's there, airspeed is alive. Now the rudder becomes effective. Very nice. Trying to regain the center line.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber.
So thin air, obviously, it does take a little bit longer on the takeoff run.
Make your way to the
There we
first
go.
class
Rotation
cabin,
speed.
where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight entertainment will be served.
So 70.
Thank you.
Reynold, Dankeschön auch für den Gifted Sub.
Of course, he does it during takeoff, critical phase of flight. That's when he does it.
Yeah. So now I'm trimming with my wheel now. Very nice. Yeah, flies very nice as expected. Cool. So gonna go accelerate here. Put the flaps up.
Yeah, the CHTs are really.
Yeah. So flaps up, fuel pump off, landing light off as well.
And power to an RPM to 2,400.
So keep trimming as the airspeed is increasing. Very nice. Cool.
At this
All right.
point, I would just throw full rich just to cool the cylinders a little bit
Okay.
more.
All right. Yeah, full rich it is. So yeah, we're getting close to the amber band here. Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's the red is 500, so you can go 500, but
Yeah. No.
it's not.
We don't have to force it. So
we
just
don't
take a
have
little
to.
bit. So about 100 knots, 110 knots is fine.
Yeah. No, Brian, not exactly, because we were sitting on the ground for almost an hour now, and with the rear end of the plane positioned into the wind, the CHTs got pretty hot.
Yeah.
And
So if it's hot, even hotter outside, I guess you have to, yeah,
It's
not
really
not stay
comfortable,
too
yeah.
long on the ground. Yeah.
but they're coming down now, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So the full rich does help. Yeah.
So on hot temperatures, basically it melts. You lose a cylinder or two in
Oh,
the
no.
engine. Of course, that's if you have the damage enabled. If you don't have it enabled, nothing happens.
Yeah.
I brought the CHTs up to like 900 degrees.
Oh, ouch. Yeah.
But with damage disabled, it's nothing's happening. So you can do what you want. It's a game. So
I don't think it has cow flaps, does it?
no, it does not.
Yeah, okay, so that's why you can't manipulate that. But now we are flying a little bit faster, looking for the outside. So the outside temperature is 3 degrees Celsius, so it shouldn't really be much of a problem now.
It's taking a while. Yeah, it takes its while. The cowling, so has angled vents in the front. If you look at it, so the plane doesn't have cow flaps, but it has a system to at least help with cooling while during the climb, because you have a higher angle of attack that kind of scoops in a little bit more air,
Yeah.
and that's also modeled in the plane. So
Yeah.
angle of attack does help cooling, but the speed difference is obviously more important than angle of attack.
Okay. Yeah, so hand flying, as you expect. I love the fact it does move nicely and more naturally than other aircrafts. But I guess with all things here in Max 2024, there are limitations, obviously, to what you can do.
As in, it's how do I say?
Yeah, well,
I
the
don't even know.
limitation. Yeah, let me put it this way: the limitations now, for example, are the weather simulation, so the turbulence, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
So the quick changes in pitch, I mean, that's not natural. That's of course they're simulating the airflow over the terrain here, but the way it's simulated here in Max 24 as well is just somewhat unrealistic.
It's really hard to judge because you're sitting behind the screen. You're not feeling the wind. You're actually not there. You don't know what's happening. So I noticed that with I've seen people. Well, actually, how to say? It's really easy in flight sim to descend with 3,000 feet per minute in a GA plane and then wonder why you're overspeeding the flaps.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you just don't have the feeling. You're not being thrown forward into the seat.
Yeah.
You don't have the pressure difference. It's not there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the turbulence could be realistic. It could also be unrealistic. You can't tell because you're sitting behind the screen. So.
Yeah. Denim asks, are you guys thinking about making the DA40-NG?
We're not sure. So we still need to figure out what our next plane will be.
Yeah.
I mean, a DA40 full study level version would be good, of course. One thing I have to say honestly is I'm not gonna be enjoying the feedback experience, the forum experience, because someone's gonna say something about the DA40NG, and they're not gonna say if it's the Asobo DA40NG or it's the Chaos DA40NG, and then it's gonna be very hard for everyone to know what's actually going on. You can actually see that with the 737, because there's the iFly that comes standard, and then there's the PMDG, also with the Cirrus Vision Jet.
Yeah.
So if you go on the forums and someone's saying something about a plane, you don't know which plane he's talking about.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
there are two versions. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so the good question. Caesar asked, why the gap on the fuel flow gauges between 16 and 19 or 18?
So standard, the plane came with 19 gallon fuel tanks. And what they did is they just put a second section in between, a third section in between. Sorry. So the fuel tank is made of sort of aluminum can in the wing. And there are multiple sections because of wing flex, so there's little rubber joints between them. And yeah, to expand the fuel capacity, but not needing to add any new fuel probes, they just put it in the middle, in between, so there's kind of a dead zone.
Yeah. Just saying that we should be switching to the right tank for a while. Cool. Then. Would you say the XLS in the sim could be used as a good reference for using the NG IRL in terms of G1000 versus G1000 NXI, control locations, etc.? It's a very specific question.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you just ignore the propeller lever and the mixture lever, you basically have FADEC.
Yeah.
If you press Control E, you also have auto start, so you can do the same maneuvers because it's the same plane. I mean, I think the drag is slightly different on the NG because it has a bigger cowling for the radiator, but yeah.
Question now, does the G1000 show the color of the speed band correctly according to flap settings and aircraft weight?
It's not dynamic, no. It's not an Airbus.
Yep.
It's just a small GA plane.
I guess the speeds don't really vary too much anyways.
Not really.
With the aircraft weight.
So a normal landing speed between like maximum and I guess minimum flyable weight, you could say. So your body weight plus a little bit of fuel, it's maybe 6-7 knots. So 73 is final approach speed at full weight, and when you're light, do it at 65 and you're fine. You know, it's yeah.
So looking at the checklist to make sure it's flaps checked up, fuel pump checked off, liner checked off. Then we have climb, cruise, descent at high altitude. I mean, we're at 5,000 feet right now, so it's not really that high.
What does that checklist say?
It says electric fuel pump on to avoid vapor bubbles, which may cause intermittent low fuel pressure and high fuel flow indication.
I've seen that on multiple planes as well, and I fly in real life as well, and I've never had that happen. I've had, because I know why it should happen, because if the fuel is sitting in the plane in the sun, and then you climb high altitude where there's less pressure, it theoretically should start bubbling, but I've never seen that happen in real life.
Yeah. So it's one of those dangers. Yeah, they include in the manual, but it's rarely seen. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's like an old fuel standard thing. So before 100 low lead, I guess it just has to be included that hey, if you're one of the older fuel standards, maybe have that problem, but I've never seen it in modern fuels.
Okay.
Yeah. I've literally had planes, literally the fuel was just pouring out because the fuel was boiling in the sun.
Okay, wow. Yeah, it
So
expands, yeah.
Yeah, we refueled full, flew with one tank to the next airport, which is only 30 minutes away. When we came back to the plane, that was like, I don't know, a liter of fuel just under the plane. Like, okay,
Oh no.
on the
Okay.
on the full tank.
Yeah. So max fuel imbalance, standard tank 10 US gallons and long range tank will be 8 US gallons, max difference between left and right. And then, yeah, for descent approach check, landing data received. So we're landing at the next airport, got about 9.5 more minutes. And so we'll set the altimeters, com, nav, FMS, whatever we have to set. Well, we're doing a visual approach here, so I'm not going to set anything special there.
At what altitude is your destination?
Good question. Never been to that airport. Hang on. So the airport, does it give us information here in the?
It should. It's only en route. It's not as your destination. That's why.
Oh, okay. I didn't put it destination. That's why. Okay, let me just change that.
You can try the autopilot out in the meantime. You can use that to reduce the workload.
Good idea.
Just heading mode and.
Let's sync the heading. As far. Actually, it's doing roll. Let's do nav. Altitude. No, altitude, and there's nav. Go flight plan direct to, enter, confirm. Now we've got GPS, and we'll have altitude select.
Can you climb to 6,000?
Yeah, let's go 7,000 actually. We'll just go.
Actually.
So we go with flight level change, add some power.
And 100. I don't know. Let's just see. Just do 100 or 90. Let's see.
Yeah.
See what the CHTs do.
Yeah. So we go speed. Where's my speed button? Speed.
So
select.
on that autopilot panel, you have on the bottom right, you have the 2 buttons up and down. That could basically controls the nose.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Thanks. Yeah. So we'll go 100 knots then climb. Cool. And then let's go destination. So now we got our airport there. So yeah, that's the question. Do we get information anywhere? Runway 124 degrees. What's that track? No, that's the track to it, I guess.
I guess it doesn't have a meter. Because it says on the bottom, selected waypoint weather, and it's just blank.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's definitely, yeah.
I mean, we have it's FS24. I could just use the EFB actually.
Okay.
That's true.
I'm not very familiar with the EFB
How
here.
far away is it? 13 miles.
Yeah, okay. The click spot for the headphones back here. So for landing, we'll switch that on again. Do you prefer the flight dynamics of Flight Sim 24X plane? Well, X plane, as long as the wind isn't crazy high, or wind speed isn't crazy high, I prefer X plane wind simulation, obviously, and aerodynamic simulation. But X plane isn't perfect either. It's better, but it's not perfect either.
Yeah, I mean, as a user, I could say I don't care. Because it really depends on what the developer has set up.
Yeah.
You can also make a plane that flies really bad in X-plane.
That's true.
You can make a You can make a good one as well. So
Yeah.
it's really up to the developer.
Yeah.
But as a developer, I mean, FS20 Flight Simulator has its advantages and disadvantages, and so does I explain.
I mean, it definitely has some potential, right? So you would climb at 80 knots. Okay, let's try it. Let's go somewhere in between there.
It really depends on what the CHTs end up doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could climb at 80, sometimes you can't.
Yeah, no, it's fine. CHT's highest is 391. Oh, sorry, 397. So so it's nice, interesting to hear you're from a development point of view. For me as a user as well, I would say what is most important to me regarding immersion, obviously, are things like visuals, sounds, and system depth simulation. So yesterday, for example, we did a flight with the PNVG with the Boris sound pack, which was very nice, obviously, much better than the default one. And then we flew to Dubrovnik, and Dubrovnik had very nice forecasted weather, etc. Right? So, and then suddenly in our visual approach, the weather changed and we had fog. So then I had to, just like in real life, talk to ATC, coordinate ILS approach, which didn't help. At the end, we didn't see anything at the minimums.
Oh.
Had to go around again and then divert to split, etc. So that was such a lot of fun because I had to utilize, everything, right? So the normal, manual flying skills, then autopilot skills, communication skills, replanning, fuel management, etc., etc. So that was so exciting, and that's what's really so much fun in flight simming.
It's almost like a sim session.
Yeah, it is. So, you put yourself.
Just all of a sudden, you see nothing.
Yeah. So you put yourself into a scenario, and you learn more about yourself, how you cope with these high workloads. Are you able to prioritize tasks? How do you deal with distractions from ATC, etc. So, but again, it's only possible if you have these things we talked about with sounds, visuals, and system depth, etc. If that all comes together, and of course visuals in terms of fog simulation, many things have to come together, but they don't have to be completely perfect, and that's really the key message, right? If people get hung up too much on these little details, then you're never going to enjoy the flight sims.
Yeah. So I think one thing we can try now is the lean assist.
Yep. Go ahead.
So engine page, and then there's the big lean assist button. Actually, it's just called assist on the right.
Assist, yeah. So
and then you just slowly pull back the mixture.
Do so.
Until I guess we're pretty high up, so we can lean for best economy. As each cylinder has its own mixture, it's basically your decision if you want to lean till the first cylinder peaks or until the last cylinder peaks.
Okay. I think we'll go with the first. So here we go. I can already see. There we go. Now it says peak. So it told me peak here at. So now if I go rich again, of course the cylinders will cool down again. So how many degrees below peak would you go?
If you want peak power, it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit below. And if you want peak efficiency, then it's just at peak.
I'm going to go back to peak again.
Yeah, when you have to reset it. If you move it too much, it...
Okay, so let's
try.
Yeah. So we recorded the last peak, but that was a different. So if I go assist off and assist on again, that's reset, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I lean again.
Yeah, you have to be very slow, very gentle.
Yeah.
It's a very dumb system.
Yeah, yeah. So there we go. So now you can see as we lean even more, now of course the engine is being starved of fuel, and then the EGT will go down because it's not enough fuel anymore. So now I'm going to be going a bit richer again. And I guess anywhere between what 50 to 100 below.
Yeah, 75 is a good good spot.
Okay, so there we go. So there we have a nice way of leaning the engine, which you should do, obviously.
Yeah. And now I'm gonna ask you to throw that all away.
Okay.
So reset the view, yeah. Autopilot off. You're right above the runway, so we're fine. Throttle idle.
Uh-oh.
Mixture cut off. And try and keep the altitude.
Okay.
When the propeller stops spinning,
Okay.
did you cut off the mixture? Dive down 20 degrees
Okay.
to minus 20.
20 degrees. Oh my god. Yeah.
I mean, the engine's still spinning, so wait till you're about 120 knots-ish.
Yeah.
Level off, and then slowly advance the mixture forward.
Okay.
Pull
So like in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Pull
Okay,
up.
now.
Pull up.
Let's hope. Okay, some. Oh, engine is back. Thank God for that. Oh. Hang on, let me just go. I thought we were going to have to do an engine out approach here.
That's how you restart an engine in flight. Obviously,
Wow,
you try
but-
to avoid it,
But 20 degrees down that's.
Yep. So if the prop stops spinning completely, you really need 130 knots to get it spinning again.
Wow. Okay. So you would need to be fast.
Yeah. You still had it spinning, so it was no problem.
Yeah. Oh, interesting demonstration there. But the thing is, though, I mean, you know, you would have to look for landing field as well, just so that, you know, in case you
make it
can't get
down.
restarted, yeah, and dive down. Right, so let's have a look. The wind should be either calm or we do have a wind indication here, don't we? So we have PFD options. Yep.
wind.
Genau.
Yep.
So there we go. So we should be landing the other way, not this way. Okay, so we're going to join left-hand downwind then.
So for normal approach sort of power setting, 2400 RPM, 19 inches. That gives you a good 100 knots with clean configuration.
Sorry, 2,400 RPM and what?
19 inches.
19 inches. There we go.
That gives you a good power setting for.
Okay.
I mean, wait, are you gonna turn final now, or are you gonna?
No, just a downwind, because the wind is from the east.
Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah.
So with a left-hand pattern here. I would say we're a bit high though.
That's alright. I mean, you can always just extend the base a little bit.
Okay, so
when we are abeam the threshold, 12 inches manifold pressure,
okay.
flaps 1, and target is around 80 knots to 80 knots and about 400 feet per minute descent.
Okay.
And then you have obviously trim and adjust for weight and wind. That's sort of the general power setting.
Just trying to get a little bit more offset, a bit close to the runway here. It's a very narrow runway. Looks more like a road, but got a windsock there, so that must be the runway. So
beams at 12 inches manifold pressure.
yeah.
Flaps 1, or takeoff, and fuel pump on.
And the fuel pump on. 80 knots, you said, and then
Yeah.
start descending.
No, it's not shared cockpit. I'm watching from the stream.
Yeah.
So with the delay, it's a bit interesting.
Yeah. So it's a bit fast here, so let's get aligned. So I've got the prop already full high RPM. Mixture rich. And then go flaps landing.
And around 15 inches to keep a good speed.
But then adjusting obviously for descent path.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Path and wind and everything. So 70, I would target 70.
Mhm.
And then when you're close to the threshold, 50 feet, then slowly pull the power back and bleed the speed in the flare.
So good thing we have a nice crosswind already on the first landing. 10 knots crosswind, nice.
Make sure the parking brake is disengaged as well.
Okay. Yeah. We're still at high altitude, 5,000 feet here. But it's nice, and the way you can control it very nicely, but it's obviously just like a real aircraft. Oh.
Boing.
Not bad for the first one. I have to use a lot of left rudder, obviously, once a weatherway into the wind here. But nice. Hey, Captain Mitchell. Well, not bad for the first landing. Small,
a little bit
small
on road
runway.
wheel, but
Yeah. So yeah, I should have bled off the speed a little bit more, but
yeah, it's alright. It's looks almost like a 3,000 meter runway. You can land a A380 there.
that's true. All right, nice. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to go to Palm Springs.
What I would do is I would pull the mixture back a little bit because the engine's running slow.
Oh, you're
Uh-oh.
right. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, it's gone. Ouch. The quicker you get it started, the better. So,
Oh,
because then you don't give the fuel lines time to heat up.
okay. So I'll do that.
Throttle,
Fuel
behind
pump,
the E-ish, yeah. And then just turn the starter. It should just start once you turn the starter because it's flooded.
Yeah, but we're
There
lucky.
you go.
Lucky. Okay, so lean the mixture a bit, he said.
Yeah, about by the X. Yeah, that's a good setting.
X, okay. Cool. All right, I forgot about. Yeah, so you can see definitely need to treat the engine properly. Very realistic handling. Nice. I mean, I'm planning to get back into GA flying in springtime this year, so IRL. So definitely will be nice to get back to all the basics again.
Which plane are you going to be flying?
Not percent. Oh, we're going to start with a Cessna 172. So they have in the club, they have one which is normal rate, and they also have a IFR rated one with G1000. So I'm actually thinking about keeping my IFR rating, which is a bit more, extensive regarding flying hours and check ride every year. But at least that gives me more options for flying. Because here in northern Germany, and weather isn't always perfect, so.
I was about to say I was about to ask if you were more north or south Germany.
No, it is north Germany.
So the Mediterranean is quite far away from you.
Yeah, and especially when you go through control zones and so on, VFAR wise, it's always a bit of a, a hit and miss, because you don't know if you're going to be allowed through, let's say, Hamburg CTR, and then you have to circumnavigate if you don't get cleared through it. But if you have an IFA flight plan, go to 7,000 feet or something and just go. You know.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
would be the idea.
IFR in Europe is pretty convenient. You climb, and you just follow the magenta line or the
Exactly.
green line.
Exactly. Or let's
You
say
get
you want
handed off.
Yeah.
It's all done for you.
Yeah. So let's say you're going up to, I don't know, Norway or something, right? It's just a bit quicker and easier if you do it with an IFA clearance. Of course, you know, you have to avoid icing conditions. That's for sure. But otherwise, I mean, right, it's just going through the after landing checks. Alternate airs closed. Landing taxi lights off. Strobe light off. Transponder will use. Standby. And then parking brakes set, engine limits checked. ELT check not activated, avionics master off. Electrical consumer except ACL strobes. Okay, so strobe light would be remain on, obviously. So all electrical consumers, which means I would have the pitot heat off, obviously.
Correct. Pitot heat off. Also all the lights. So the internal lights.
Okay, internal lights. Yeah, all off. Yeah. Then throttle 1,000 RPM. Grounding check. Ignition grounding check. What do you do with that?
You quickly turn the ignition off.
Okay.
In the flight sim, it's very tricky, but
and then mixture.
yeah.
What?
So you're supposed to turn it off quickly and then turn it back on again, the ignition. But
Okay, that's called grounding check. Okay.
yeah, you check that the magnetos actually turn off.
I see. And then ignition off.
And
Strobe lights
electric
off. Yeah.
welcome.
Nice. Yeah, so, oh yeah, and the price-wise, did you already announce something regarding pricing?
Price would be $25 US.
Fair price for such a detailed add-on, yeah, absolutely. So, or shall we go? Actually, you know what? Let me go to Graz.
Oh,
Because I have the scenery for that as well.
a bit foggy here.
Is it? You can no way.
Yeah.
Is it really?
It was really dense fog this morning.
Oh no, hang on. We'll have a look now.
I mean, let's see what the game spits out. I mean, right now it's not really foggy, but this morning it was crazy.
So now let's try an IFR flight real quickly. A short one to Salzburg. Although in the prop it's probably quite a long flight, really.
Let me see.
Just gonna have a look here.
You could do like Ljubljana or something. That's a short flight.
Graz, Ljubljana. Okay. Well, the thing is,
That's a
though,
40-minute flight.
Okay. Now the thing is, regarding sceneries, because I think Microsoft 2024 already has a Salzburg scenery automatically. Let me just have a look here. Maybe it's not that long.
You're not doing it on Vatsim, are you?
No. Is there a profile for DA?
Or Simbrief, or what it's called?
Yeah.
No.
So just take some grass. So we got yeah, no, it doesn't really matter. Take some aircraft. Right.
That's weird. The plane should actually be running.
No, I had a mixture of this one.
You had a mixture.
Yeah, because I thought it was gonna be cold and dark.
You can just press Control E, so you have auto start if you want, and the plane will basically start itself. As it primes itself and it does everything for you.
Okay. So Control E. Oh no.
Your key. What are your keybinds doing? Do you have like a ignition key or something, or?
No. So let me just select to daytime here, so we can see something. All right, let me put this off. Let's do this properly. So it should be primed anyways now, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's try that. I think we busted the hang on, let me just...
This game. Yeah, I think I know what's wrong. It's something with FS24 sometimes.
Yeah.
I find when you don't like reload the whole plane completely, I don't know, it's really annoying. I've had this too many times.
Yeah. No worries.
Let's try again.
Then let me start at the apron this way. So let's start.
This is one cloud.
Just over. Is that supposed to be the fog?
The funny thing is, it actually is kind of like that. Graz is in a bowl. We have mountains to the north, mountains to the west, and if there's any sort of southeasterly breeze, it just stays on the mountains, and it just puts us in a nice soup.
Nice. So how do I get the sim brief?
You need to set parking
plan
brakes
in
to
the,
request ground services.
I have no idea. I don't have sim brief.
Okay. Oh, that's good. So let's have a look. So set the parking brake here. All right. So let's go through the startup procedure again real quickly. So we've done the outside check. So electric masters off, electric circuit breakers in ELT, flap selector up. Pitot heat is, let's have a look, make sure everything's off. Okay, that is all off. And then master on. So pilot acknowledged. So engine, let's reset fuel. Gallons remaining, you set 40. Cool. So flight plan, that's a good question. Our menu.
It already has a flight plan in.
Yeah, because in the first screen I said destination departure over departure. So let's have a look. So let's do the departure here. So 3-4. Check the weather real quickly. So the weather says, as we can see, a little bit foggy right now, but should be alright for the IFR flight. So 700 meters roundabout, 1 degree. altimeter 1014, and the wind is variable 1 knot. So let's depart out of runway 17.
TOS
Maybe
system
16.
test. Okay.
Oh, 16 it is then, yeah.
It actually recently changed like 2 years ago. From 17 to 16.
So departure, let's go. Oh, it only has runway 34. Is that because of the departure route there?
What's your which SID are you taking or trying to take?
It should be the
Milgo, right? If you're going to Salzburg, you'll take the Milgo, right?
Yeah, Milgo, yeah. So the other one would be, let's see, not the...
Milgo 6, I think.
So look. So 6 Golf. Yeah, 16 center, yeah, that's it. There we go. Yeah. So we'll load that. There we go. And then en route, the next one will be
I think
Epola.
it's good. Not Epola and then Bumuk, right? I think those
Yeah,
two.
something like that, yeah.
I've actually I've done so many Salzburg flights in sim as well. Just it's a decent length and it's over mountains and everything.
Well, for me, it gives me Nimdu, and then we'll do Matic, obviously, and then the Matic arrival. Matic, and then we'll do procedure arrival. Salzburg to Romeo, and then we'll do that. Load, enter, and then I want to try the RMP approach. So the we'll take the LPV one, this one, and then of course with the initial approach fix 815. Enter. Right. Let's have a look. All right, that shall do for now. Cool. So fuel-wise, yeah, we got. How would we refuel? Is that through the weight and balance system here? I guess, right?
Yes.
Let's have a look. Man,
It's in the it's in the tablet. And then on the bottom left there's a little plane icon.
Yeah.
Then it opens the plane and you click on performance and then weight and balance and mass and balance. The flight performances.
Yeah.
Mass and balance.
And then quick fill. Some 70%.
No, that's seats. That's the payload.
Let's do that. Fuel, there we go. Fuel. Load an aircraft. There we go. Yeah, fantastic. That worked. Cool. Excellent. So fuel set. And then strobe light on. Propeller area is clear. And then parking brake set. Fuel is on the left tank, which is fine. And then throttle is set to E. And then electric pump, fuel pump on. Mixture open, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Off again. Voltages looking. Let's start the engine.
It's no problem. Is it not spinning again?
No.
Nice.
So I have a feeling that it's because of Microsoft.
Start the circuit breaker is in, so okay.
Pretty sure it's not. I mean, I can reset the damages.
Shouldn't be a problem, but do it.
Okay.
I highly doubt the engine destroyed itself
Yeah.
from the operation.
Ah, yeah, it did.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's something I need to take a look at.
Yeah, so try that again. Ah! Am I too slow with the fuel? No. Doing something wrong with the starting.
No,
Oh,
you
fuel
just
pump.
need to...
Yeah. No, fuel pump wasn't running, that's why. I had a fuel pump reset, so...
That's no problem.
There we go. Yeah, so we damaged the engine somehow on the previous flight, so that's why it's a good idea to reset it.
It shouldn't damage that much. I will actually just check that stuff.
Okay. Alright. So then we've started, oil pressure looking good. Fuel selector switch to tanks. Pitot heat, yeah, definitely pitot heat on. Check the voltages. Alternator on. So avionics master on. FMS already done. And then we would do the autopilot test again. So that is not moving there. There we go. Autopilot on. Stick is moving. Let's sync the heading. Then we've got heading select. Make sure the stick is moving. Right. Left. Trim. Resets autopilot. Good. So we're going to lean the mixer a bit here. Check the flaps. Make sure they're moving completely. Full up again. And then takeoff position, fantastic. So let's go transponder on. And we want to go to GPS mode. I'm not sure why the localizer is already showing here. Did I press something there?
It already has a ILS frequency tuned for some reason, so
Okay.
it's not the Graz frequency. So
Okay, let's try something else. Still no, far from it. Parking brake released, and then we're ready for taxi. I'm just going to do one more thing here. Let me just go put altitude selector up to... What's the seating of the aircraft?
16.5.
Okay, all right, let's go 12. Yeah.
Milgo is 10, I believe, initially.
Okay, so 10 it is. Okay.
And I think you're good at 10,000 on that route.
KMAN. Yeah, okay, so 10,000 will go initially. We'll check that. Right, so oil temperature is still a bit low, so we still have to wait until that gets into the green area. But that's what's expected, 1 degrees outside temperature. Right, so GPS is armed, fantastic. Cool, then let's taxi out to the runway.
So the minimum, at least the VFR sector altitude around Graz is 10,000. Then as you go west, 11,000, and then 13.6. But at 13.6, you'll kind of be descending already.
Okay.
So if you had to, you'd go 12.
Okay.
I guess if you really had to.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna actually to 10 and then.
Let's hope the plane doesn't ice up because, you know, FS icing even happens
yeah,
on the
I know.
ground.
Yeah. We'll see.
That's gonna be fun. So I think I know why the plane didn't start.
Okay.
There's a contact, so there's a collision point for the propeller
Okay.
in the front, and I just every time I spawn an FS-24, the plane bounces around weirdly, and it wouldn't surprise me if it spawned with the propeller in the ground.
Okay. Yeah, could be a
So
reason.
I'm just gonna remove it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna remove that point and hope it doesn't happen again.
Cool. Nice. So, nice great scenery, but I'm not sure about the aircraft shown here.
I mean, the Austrian Dash is a little bit old. Wizz Air, we don't have Wizz coming here.
No, I think it's. I haven't dialed down the AI traffic, so that's why it's showing. Yeah, kind of weird.
We'll have that much traffic. I don't know. It must be Formula One or something.
So, any trick to get the oil temperature up quicker?
Just set 2,000 RPM ish.
Okay, so we'll
and you can. I've seen people depart with 100 degrees oil temperature.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't go into the red, the pressure, while starting, you're fine.
Okay.
So just set 2,000 RPM and then.
Yeah. We've got to do our tests here anyway, so run up tests.
Yeah.
So we'll do a little bit intersection departure then. Just stop here.
Yeah, Charlie is good enough.
Brake set. So let's do throttle. Yeah, now the oil temperature's coming up. So prop control. 1, 2, 3. Magneto check. Right. Both. So left and right. Looking good. Both again.
Now that we actually reset the engine damage, the mixture, you see the mixture distribution is slightly different. Before your fourth cylinder was the hottest, now it's the third.
Now it's, or the second actually at the moment, Okay.
As in the EGT, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, the EGT, yeah, you're right. So let me have a look. So currently, I did reset the flight plan for some reason.
Currently, the active leg is
it's
the
direct.
approach.
Yeah.
Middle, so hit the smaller button and scroll up to basically the first
3,500 feet.
part.
There we go.
And then enter or menu and then activate leg. Or menu.
I didn't like it. Hang on.
It doesn't.
Hold on. Just dial back again.
I don't know what. I've never had that situation, so I actually don't know what to do. Because it has the final sort of like it has a leg later on activated already. I don't know if you can just sort of go back in the flight plan.
Now let me just delete that again. Maybe it was because we did something with the menu screen there.
According to Zephyr, you activated the approach.
Oh, okay. Could be. There we go, origin. Runway 16 center. Enter. Then we go menu. No procedure. Select departure. That's the 6 Golf. He broke the plane as always. So there we go. Milgo. Then en route. Oops.
You can just enter the rest of the flight plan while you're in the air.
Yeah, let me just enter one more.
One more waypoint, yeah.
So then Epola, enter. And destination will have Salzburg. There we go. And the rest we'll do in the flight, that's correct. Although we can set the runway here. Enter. Okay, so flight plan now. Yeah, now everything's synced up. Cool. All right, and we have 111 degrees now. Okay. Yeah.
CHT's looking.
Yeah, it's already getting warm, so that's why it's time to depart. So mixture's going full rich. Got land lights on. Speeds are set.
I really hope there's no ice already on the plane, you know.
So
No
visually,
insights.
yeah, but visually it doesn't show that, does it? It's, if anything, behind the scenes.
If it's on, you would see it on the wings, but not really
Would
on the
you,
glass.
did you really see it? Okay, no,
Yes.
there's nothing on here. Looks good.
This
Looks
is very
scratched.
good.
Looks scratched, but not
Alright.
not iced.
Let's see.
So, pitot heat is on. Fuel pump on. Famous last words, yeah.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? All right, let's go flying. Power set, airspeed is alive.
Center line is somewhere.
Pause rate, gear up. Haha, no. So we're climbing. Let's do
Autopilot, you're down
this.
wrong.
Yeah. And then we'll have that. Yeah, GPS is active. We'll use flight level change. Flaps coming up, pitching down a bit. And then autopilot on for the workload reduction. So flaps are up and speed about 80, you said.
I would honestly keep the RPM up just to get as high as possible.
Yeah.
Just to get out of the clouds, get out of the... If it's ice or not, we don't know yet. You only know if it's ice when it's too late.
Okay. You're worried about icing. I'm not. I don't see any
Yeah.
ice just yet. Looks clean
You
to
don't
me.
see
so-
it, but it likes to creep up on you.
Okay.
As in, there is icing model in the model, but it's just that FS really likes to make the plane of stone.
Well, you know, since it's fog, you know what? Since it's only fog, we should be able to break out of the clouds.
Yeah, it's getting brighter now. So according to my instructor today, the cloud layer was only like 700 feet thick. But
Yeah.
Again, if it's ice, it's still too thick. So
Yeah, that's true.
a little bit thicker in game,
But we're still
Oh.
climbing.
it's coming out. There
Yeah.
we go.
Oh, press the autopilot. Disconnect. There we go. Autopilot. Yeah. Braking, slowly braking out of the clouds. Beautiful. Right. What's the engine doing? Engine is... yeah, the CHTs are...
It's in the green, it's good.
yeah, it's in the green. Yeah, but I think we're good now, right? Out of the clouds, so we're gonna go 2,400.
450 degrees in the green. Okay, good.
So 2,400 and so fuel pump off, landing light off. Looking good. Turning to the next waypoint, Whiskey Golf 609. Max 205 knots. Okay, I have to remember that. Yeah, so I'd wait for until 3,500 for the turn. Yeah, that's correct. But look at that, looks nice. Beautiful outside here. Ooh. And as always, Salzburg will have beautiful weather. No cloud, 8 degrees,
Nice.
090 at 4. Beautiful.
That's just Graz, just the bowl.
Yeah. The rest is beautiful. You see some terrain in the distance there.
It's really unfortunate that FS24 likes to generate a license. Ask Echo Whiskey.
Okay, yeah.
Ew.
Ew.
But a lot of livery people have complained, and hopefully they change the behavior back to the way it was before.
Yeah, the thing is that usually that's somewhere way down in their priority list, so...
Yeah, exactly. A lot bigger stuff to fix.
Okay, so checking the tanks. Yeah, both 15 gallons. Fine. Temperatures are looking good as well.
Let's see, you have 5,000 feet to climb. How long is the leg again? Just trying to calculate the climb angle.
So Milgo, let's have a look. Flight plan. Milgo's about another 25 miles to go to Milgo.
25 miles, 80 knots, so that's 20 minutes. So yeah, I think you can slow down. At 500 feet per minute, you need 10 minutes to get there. So
Yeah. That looks
you
good.
could decrease the climb a little bit, cool the engine off better. I'd say 90 maybe.
Yeah, 90 it is. When would you... So leaning you only do in cruise flight then?
If you're really high up, you could lean. So if you're high up and the CHTs are fine, you can lean a little bit during climb. But in generally full range for climb.
Yeah, and we're not that high just yet. Yeah, so below... So we got a question there regarding the wind indication. So we go to PFD options, right? And you have 3 different options for the indications. So I'll actually go with the... So if you go with the first one, you can have headwind crosswind component. Here you just have a direction error with the speed, and here you got the direction in numbers and the wind speed. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So one of the indicators is component, exactly. So headwind is crosswind, one is relative, and one is true.
Yeah. So I think I'll leave that. That's a good thing with headwind component and crosswind component.
I like that one as well. I like the first one as well. Yeah. It kind of when you need it. So critical phase of flight, so takeoff, or you don't see it on the ground, but when you're landing, you see instantly. Okay, 5 knots crosswind.
Yeah.
You don't look at it, be like, okay, is that a 6 knot crosswind? Is that a 7 knot crosswind? What is it? No, you just know it's a 5 knot, and you know what to expect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Vito, very welcome. So of course this aircraft, since the landing gear cannot be raised, is somewhat limited with the cruise speed.
It's about 20 knots faster than a 172.
Oh really? Wow, okay. That's not bad.
So
not bad, not bad.
the aerodynamics plus the constant speed prop in 172 is like 120 true if you push it, true airspeed. This can go 150 if you push it. Obviously you lose with power with altitude, so you can only do that at a lower level.
Yeah. Getting a little bit of turbulence again. So I like how the fuel indication jumps as the aircraft has some bumps.
I will step away for a few minutes.
Yeah, sure. Have a look at the minimum altitudes. So the grid is 11,000. So actually I'm going to climb 12,000 altogether. 12,000 it is. So level 120. That should give us a nice view of the surroundings. So yeah, I haven't been much in Microsoft 2024 lately, so it's always interesting to come back again. And one thing I notice, I don't know how you see it, but for me, the sky colors, I prefer them in Microsoft 2020. And also yesterday, the clouds that we had, they looked really nice. So here, I'm not sure. I think it's just a bit too bright. Maybe it's just having to get used to. How you like the aircraft so far? Very nice, very nice. So for me, it's about the details. So when you have the option to, you know, to put things like engine damage on, you have state saving. Yeah, you could even activate the failure mode, right, for some extra spice. That's nice. Sounds are very nice. Textures are nice. And so people, yesterday we did a little poll, and a lot of people said that they use Microsoft 2024, especially for VFR flying. Now I also have the CRWS, the Cow's DA42, and obviously that is a lot faster. But also, you know, so highly detailed, modeled. So what ground speed was the flight plan calculated with? Ground speed... ...160 knots. Not quite there yet, but we're gonna speed up soon. And then the flight time should be about 45 minutes. I think this aircraft, so this add-on is especially interesting for people, you know, that are planning to go, you know, do some real-world PPL flying. So then you could, you know, theoretically spice it up a bit more with going flying on VATSIM to get the communications included as well. I don't remember ever using the Diamond 50, no. But for me, if I look, if this aircraft IRL costs like 400,000 euros, oh my god, so much money. Because I had a discussion, you know, if I go back into flying GA aircraft, you know, even in the flying club, if you take the 172, that would be about what, 150 euros an hour, wet. So including the fuel. And then the IFR version will be more in the region of 250 euros per hour. New donation call, yeah. And but you know, even if you have to fly for the CPL, so the IFR rating, if you have to fly, I don't know, 10 hours a year at least, I mean, it still doesn't really compare, you know, the cost of buying an aircraft. Because if you buy the aircraft, you have to pay insurance, you've got to pay for the maintenance, you've got to pay for the hangar. And there's so many extra costs in that regard. Oh, let me just put the headset on. Nice. Sapphire Wave, yes, I've flown the Duke, yes. Yeah, so the black square add-ons, I've had it for the Baron, I've had it for the Beach Bonanza, so they are definitely very good good add-ons as well, yeah, absolutely agree. So let's check the engine again, CHT, so the cylinder head temperature is all looking good. Endurance, we have 2.5 hours endurance left, so all nice. Pressure, temperature, all looking good. Actually, let me just do something here. Let's go RT units hectopascal. There we go. So standard is set. There we go, standard. Climbing at 120. Cool. There we go. Winter time in the Alps. I would actually these days, I would love to go through training again, just to see how it compares to the training that I've received like 30 years ago in the basic training. Because obviously when you start flying DA aircraft, right, you've got, the Garmins, I don't know, surely they're not going to switch those off or, hide the screen or something. So the question is about, normal raw data flying, just using HSI, if that's still trained these days, if that's still a thing. So now they're going to 10,000. Just going to slowly lean a little bit here. Tommy, no, you didn't miss anything. I was just saying that I wonder how flight training is done these days. Because for me, let's switch tanks here. So, you know, back when I started 30 years ago, we didn't have Garmin's, we didn't have GPS. It was all, you know, just the whiskey compass and an HSI of, well, first of all, it was just an RMI, and then we have the HSI. But that was it, right? So these days, obviously, I don't know how the students start training. If it's literally, you know, the Garmin right from the start.
Yeah, so like it's kind of a trend now that students start on a glass panel and finish on a glass panel. They never ever see the analog instruments, only the backups. And something you learn in theory, like, ooh, look at the CDI.
yeah, like, oh, you know, long time ago that people used that. Yeah, I remember that we actually had on the A320 there was a failure, electric failure. I don't know if it's a failure of both MCDUs or something, where the aircraft just went into basic modes, right? And hey, Cold Nebo, and yeah, it's just a matter of, you know, having a really crude HSI and then going back tuning, you know, nav tuning manually the VORs, and then just having VORs needle point somewhere, and then trying to determine your position. And I remember that I had a mission, and my first officer, he was like initially completely lost. He did not know where we are, and so I had to really go slow and convince him, look, this needle is pointing there, that's the VOR there. And of course, nowadays you don't have paper charts on the flight deck, right? Of course, yeah, you have an EFB, but then you have to get a en route chart out and et cetera, and you know, and you know, show him, okay, this VOR is there, 40 miles away from that, and blah blah blah, and then yeah, then finally he got his mental picture up again.
Yeah.
And Tango Kilo says you still calculate total drift for gyro at ATPL-XM. Yeah, that's the thing, though. We talked about this prior to the stream. ATPL theory is one thing, right? A lot of things to learn it, and so many questions that you have to go through. But in the end, yeah, so many of these things you will never hear again after that.
It's if I think about it, there is the endorsement for PPL, the EFIS endorsement, where you learn how to use a screen. It doesn't specify which one, if it's a Garmin system or if it's a Dynon system, just an EFIS system. I wonder if they're gonna kind of change that so you get an analog endorsement.
Yeah.
Because everyone's starting on EFIS, and you're gonna have to get an analog instrument endorsement.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And these days, I mean, since I know that the Flying Club, I mean, it has the crude 172 that doesn't have Garmin. I think it has an RMI, but that's about it. So an RMI is just, you can tune a VOR or an ADF, and it'll just point somewhere. It doesn't even have a moving magnetic compass rose. It just gives you a crude bearing from where you are. And so I remember that when I was flying in the US, in Phoenix, you had such good visibility all the time. And then I came back to Germany, finished my training, and I was out of a job after finished training for 2.5 years. But I maintained my license and my IFA rating, so I had to collect these hours, and I did that in Gannekersee. It's an airport west of Bremen. And yeah, the first time I went flying with the instructor to get everything sorted out again and get the approval to fly for that flying club. We had good weather, right? And then I remember first time I flew with my wife, and we had like, I don't know, maybe 12 kilometers visibility and clouds at 2,000 feet and
it's not fun.
And yeah, since you don't have a Garmin, we didn't have GPS, which I just sat there with my map, and we just wanted to fly towards Cuxhaven in North Germany, and it was so stressful because literally the moment that you lose your orientation, and you're lost literally.
Yeah, getting it back is really hard.
Yeah, unless you call flight information service and ask them to give you your position, which is always embarrassing to do. Yeah, but that was so stressful at the beginning. That's really weird, kind of weird feeling.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm pretty sure EASA and all the agencies are keeping track of, well, incidents. It's kind of their job.
Yeah.
It's kind of why we pay them as well.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if they ever see trends of, basic navigation skills, going out, they're gonna have to change the curriculum basically.
Yeah.
To adapt that.
Yeah. But if I look at accidents, so from the ones that I hear in GA flying, it's usually people just just being overconfident in their abilities, or maybe not understanding weather conditions correctly, underestimating the influence of becoming, getting vertigos, etc., and being spatially disorientated in bad weather. So just not giving themselves enough, buffer, because I know VFR, special VFR rules, they always sound interesting, and like 8 kilometers visibility. Well, that's not bad at all, or 5. Is it 5? Okay, it's 5 kilometers. So then you think like, well, actually try 5 kilometer visibility, right? So if I think looking down Frankfurt runway, airport runway, and just 1,000 meters beyond the end of the runway threshold, that's 5 kilometers. That's not much, right? And so, yeah, I think I remember Brennelt when he and his friends picked me up here, and we flew to Helgoland, and then the next day they flew back towards Bonn-Hangela, and the weather was quite marginal there. And then, on that day, just a few hours later, somebody actually crashed into a wind turbine, I think, if I remember correctly, because of the bad visibility.
Ouch.
So it's these things that, or people enter clouds, even though it's just, under VFR flight rules, and they enter clouds. You have your artificial horizon. It shouldn't, cause any issues. But yeah, they're just not used to it. And then they get disorientated and get into spin or whatever, stall.
I would try leaning the engine now a little bit.
Yeah, I've already leaned a little bit, but we can lean a bit more now. Yeah.
Get some more power out.
Yeah. So go assist here when you're almost cruising level anyways.
But yeah, I for example was coming back from a flight. The weather wasn't the best, and I mean the plane is fully capable IFR. I'm not obviously IFR rated yet, but if stuff, if it really got bad, I would know at least how to not meet the mountain around Graz, and I can ask for vectors, and I can at least get down. And this is typical PPL. This is the exact same thing you mentioned with people being overconfident, and it's exactly how I sound.
Yeah.
So that's some aviation psychology for you there as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was flying, and the weather wasn't the best. I was flying near the mountain. I know it. I could see it. It was sunset. It wasn't dark, but it was sunset. The Garmin screams at me, "Caution! Obstacle! Obstacle!"
Jeez. Okay. Wow.
So that's something like, and I was like, "Okay, true." If it was like 30 minutes later, holy, I would have. I would need a new pair of pants probably.
Yeah.
It was like 30 minutes later in the day.
Yeah.
So. If you're at your destination and you're using public transport, say to get back to the airport, you miss the bus and you come 20 minutes later, you can end up in a situation like that where when it's dark and you get close to obstacles to winter in that case.
And the thing is that airline pilots, they get usually CRM training, and they get lessons about psychology, etc., etc. So but a private pilot, will have many of the same kind of issues regarding get-there-itis, right? Like I said, instead you've had some delay somewhere or more wind or whatever, and then you're gonna say, no, I have to get home, right? And then suddenly it gets dark, and and then the accident happens, right? So Yeah, there's so many things, and I keep saying that. That's why I never did GA flying while I was doing professional flying, because GA flying, you have to take that seriously. You have to take it, with the same kind of professional approach as you do, as an airline pilot. Because otherwise, if you don't, it's going to get you killed at some point. You're going to have an accident for sure.
It's I don't know how to call it, but yeah, gastritis is one thing. One perfect example I have is I missed a flight, as in a commercial flight, as a passenger when I was on a work trip once. The reason was the Zurich airport was under maintenance. I don't know if you were there like 2-3 years ago. The whole road structure was gone, so it was like a 5-minute or 10-minute detour just to get into the parking spot at Zurich, and I missed it twice.
Yeah.
Because it was really badly marked, and I had to return the rental car, so it was kind of weird. So we were driving around for 20 minutes, and and then there was a massive line at the check-in, and the online check-in didn't work.
Oh no.
So it's the perfect example of 3 factors adding up.
Yeah.
So we missed the flight, and I was like, okay, when's the next flight home? Because it's Graz. There's always a direct flight to Graz from Zurich. It's no problem. I was like, yeah, in 2 hours.
Oh,
no problem.
Yeah.
I bought the tickets with my money, with my card. And then on the work trip, I just said, hey, we had to buy new flight tickets. So I got the money back, no problem. I got home 2 hours later. Honestly, I didn't really care.
Yeah,
it was a non-event. For my colleague who was doing this for the first time, I think it was a second work trip or something.
Yeah.
Missed his flight. He's like, oh no, I'm gonna get fired and stuff. Like, no, just it's nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah,
if you do that privately, it's the same. It's private. If you miss a private flight, sure, I have to pay another 200 euros for the flight. I luckily got it cheap because it was kind of their fault for not only having 2 stations open and having a massive line. So they kind of gave me the cheaper price, the basic price, and do that privately, and you're stressed like crazy, especially if you have a connecting flight and stuff.
Yeah.
And the same, what I'm trying to get to is the same thing applies with GA. If you do this professionally, you call your company and say, yeah, we couldn't take off today because of, I don't know, maintenance to the plane. The company is, of course, not happy, but they put you in a hotel room and you fly the next day.
Yeah.
If you do this privately on a Sunday, you have to get to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
You have to return the rental plane tomorrow. You have to, pay extra hangar fees or parking fees for overnight. You have to find a hotel, and it's private versus commercial. Just having the company behind you, you could say, is really relieving. Privately, you don't have that.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing. You always have to, just accept the fact sometimes. Just gotta be late, but rather late in this life than early in the next.
Yeah. People always ask, you always get questions as pilots, oh, what happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? Most of the time my answer is I just pull out my credit card and say, look, I'm gonna overnight here, or take a plane home, or take a train home, or and the plane sits on the ramp until someone else picks it up.
And the thing is that within that like 2 or 3 weeks, you won't even think about that again, that you were late, right? It's just behind you, and then you just move on, right? So, but for the moment, in the moment, it's important. But if you look into the future, well, forget about it. It's not that important.
Yeah.
Hey, Pilot 19, we're flying. We took off in Graz. We're now doing a bit of an IFA flying here with the DA40. Going to do the LPV approach, RNP approach into Salzburg. And another question was, is the DA40 a diesel engine?
No, this is the Lycoming engine, the gasoline version.
The gasoline version. There we go, Tango Kilo. Thanks for the question. Pilot 19, you flew to Graz. So IRL, GA aircraft? Yeah, I used to love flying to Graz commercially, because it's such a nice, relaxed airport. Just you walk to the terminal in the morning, or whenever you just walk to the aircraft.
It's I love it as well. For work trips, it's amazing because, because I did work trips with the previous company. It was like You show up, you have to return the rental car and stuff, and then you have to navigate this massive airport. It's a shopping city, airports are shopping cities now.
Yeah.
Shopping malls.
That's
and Graz is just, it's security, and you can see the gate. Some of our colleagues would they would literally arrive at the airport 10 minutes before boarding.
Yeah.
They park the car through security and, hey, what's up?
Yeah, it's possible there, yeah.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
And flying GA there is really nice as well. It's
Yeah.
one of the cheapest places in Austria when it comes to landing fees.
Cool.
I still paid 70 euros for 3 landings with the thing, but in Salzburg that would have been like 100.
Wow. Okay.
Innsbruck probably also the same. So.
Ouch. Yeah. Vilo, you think about the flight stick to make my flying experience more realistic, but damn, well, yeah, but in the end, if you're really passionate about flight simming, it's worth the money, right? So, and I've got an array of different flight sticks, and I actually now want to try the Winwing Orion 2 base, and I'm a bit disappointed there actually, because the resistance is not much, so it just feels very wobbly. So I also have now got the Moser force feedback stick, but I'm waiting for the plate to connect it to my rig. But I want to use that for DCS really, so for the F-18, and because I'm not sure if it's really good or worth using it, let's say with an A320. I'm not sure if that really improves the flight experience. I mean, I should try, but so overall, I come to the conclusion that the Thrustmaster base, at least, is still the best price quality for me, because it has more resistance. It's not so wobbly back to the center, so it's nicely dampened.
For a second, you caught like a little updraft and were doing like 145 knots.
Yeah. So that's probably a weather change or something.
Super speed, a little updraft, and then.
Yeah, nice. We're doing a bit more speed now, so half an hour. Do we have a time acceleration here, or simulation increase here? Wonder how. Maybe someone knows.
It's normally through some keybinds, but I think it's not bounded by default. Yeah, it's already the fastest plane.
That's fine. Let me just have a look.
130 true, but in a 172 you'll be doing 110. So
yeah. So let's have a look. Accelerate. So time.
I think it's called sim rate.
Yeah, sim rate. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, increase sim rate, decrease sim rate. So what can we do? Let me have a look here. There we go. That should work.
One thing we really need is like a preview of the keyboard and which keys are bound.
So now we're doing 2 time. Yeah. So let's. I don't want to take more time from you just flying along here.
Yeah, that's right.
So the idea is now to just check, do a nice LPV approach. I'm sure Brennelt would love to see that, how that works here.
Did you lean for the highest EGT or for?
Let me have a look.
Is that like at this altitude? I already leaned for peak. Yeah, okay. So you're basically at peak power.
Yeah.
If you open the EFB,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the plane button here on the left, so you go back and then you go back again in the checklist. In the post-flight area, there's a power table.
Ah, okay, nice.
Beats power table.
Yeah.
So we're at
Hang on.
12,000. Of course, we're not gonna get 75%. Probably not 65.
Yeah, so 12,000. Okay, it says 19-inch. We have 2,200 RPM. Okay.
All right. I'm just a rough ballpark. So that says 7 gallons per hour, but you're burning at 9.4. Scroll up to 65.
Okay. 65 only goes up to 10,000 feet. Yeah.
Just checking. 7 gallons. So yeah, it's a little bit less than 65 because of the gallons per hour.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
So it's probably around a 60% power-ish.
Yeah. Should add up then. Okay. At this altitude, you already have to care about oxygen. Yeah, it's between 10 and 13,000. It's about 30 minutes, isn't it? And then above 13,000, you need oxygen.
Just hold your breath, you'll be fine. I say that every time.
Breathe slower.
Yeah, I just finished human performance. Talk about hypoxia and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So black box, where is the disturbance zone? Where is the critical zone?
Oh.
There's another zone I forgot.
Yeah, I remember we had to learn all the different jet stream names and then know during which season which jet stream is
Really?
active. Yeah,
I don't know if we have to do that yet.
Jesus, it was. Then I remember I'm not sure if you have to do this. We had to work out sunset and sunrise times for long range flights.
I hope we don't have to do that.
Crazy.
I haven't done flight planning yet. Flight planning yet, so
yeah, man.
I think
that was a nightmare. Yeah.
How would you do it? You would, so you know the latitude and long. You know the coordinates.
Yeah, I think
You
we had
know the
tables.
time zone?
Yeah, we had tables, and then it was just, but it's such a nightmare. And if you went wrong somewhere, even by the smallest amount, you would be off by an hour or something. And
Exactly. Yeah. If you did, so if you were between two time zones, like in the center between two, 15 degrees is an hour. So if you calculated plus 7 degrees instead of minus 7 degrees, you would be an hour off. Exactly.
Yeah. So these days, I actually do calculate sunset, sunrise because it interests me, obviously. But you have a nice app. I have an app now. It's called. Let me just check. It's called Sunrise Cockpit. It's called. And you enter your departure airport. You enter your destination airport. You enter departure time, the flight time, and you enter if you want to have it calculated for cruise level. And then it will give you the exact time for sunset and sunrise. Crazy.
That's cool. My watch can actually do that. My watch has it's like a hiking watch and has that calculator. So you put in the coordinates and it shows you the
perfect, right? I mean,
right
easy.
sunset time.
So technology definitely has made a lot of things a lot easier.
Yeah. That's kind of what I do for night flying. I check on my phone because Google also shows the sunrise, sunset, and I check on my watch, and then I obviously add or subtract 30 minutes.
Yeah, and that's it
for the civil timing.
Yeah.
The plane's getting bumped around.
Yeah. Have you ever used polar grid coordinates? Yeah, we had to do all that as well. Yeah. So polar grid. We actually, back then, we had to learn about systems called LORAN Charlie, so LORAN C. And there's another one I forgot about. LORAN was one.
MLS?
I don't know, yeah. The military was still using it.
I don't know if the military uses MLS. I don't think anyone uses MLS.
Yeah, but they used LORAN C, I'm pretty sure. I think the Transalps back then that we had, they in Wunstorf near Hanover, they actually used LORAN C because we had a theory teacher coming from the military to teach us about LORAN C. And then there were like 4 or 5 questions in the catalog that he had to know about. And I thought, and the teacher said, you're never going to get, unless you fly the Transall in the German Air Force, you will never ever come across LORAN C again. But we had to learn that stuff. Did you hear about, because I had a discussion not too long ago on my stream, the EASA is thinking about decreasing the amount of topics in the ATPL.
Well, someone should have told me that earlier.
Yeah, so they want to drastically reduce the amount of training time, because they are aware that they're going into a huge lack of pilots situation. So they are thinking about means of
So I mean, you know this as well, but like you know that like 90%, okay, maybe it's 50% of the questions you forget instantly. 50% of the theory you forget instantly. The thing is though, you can't really just remove that 50% and then expect still get 100% at the end. Not 100% in the test, but like 100% of pilot performance when it comes to aircraft handling, system knowledge, awareness, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard because you have one side, you have students who are frustrated. Oh, why do I need to know about this stuff?
Yeah.
Like why do I need to know about the disturbance zone, compensatory zone for hypoxia? I just need to know 10,000 feet is that's it.
Yeah.
That's kind of when I should think about hypoxia and stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like in a way, you can maybe condense the information, but should you?
It's one of those really, really difficult topics because, so even for the lawmakers, of course, they carry responsibility, of course, for safety in aviation. So let's say you say, okay, we have to take some things out. Okay, so where do you start and where do you stop taking things out?
Exactly.
And where does it become dangerous? So for me personally, I've always been, someone that says theory is definitely important. But like you said, there's so many topics which you learn about and then you will never ever hear about it again. Never ever. All right. So personally, I think I would be okay for certain topics to be taken out. However, where I think is critical is if they decrease the amount of flying hours even further. So so for me, the practical side is definitely very important, and they should not decrease that at all. And then maybe if they did some training concepts more in the sense of using practice, and then with topic related to those practices, whatever topic you're covering at the moment, and then go into theory of that topic more detailed, right? And that way, it's more like orientated towards the real world flying, but definitely also just making sure that there's certain things that need to be taught and that need to be covered.
Yeah. And also the financial thing, because it's a lot of my friends are buying nice cars, putting down payments on houses, and I'm just paying to make noise in the sky. It's if it asks us like, okay, we need to reduce the training cost by reducing hours, then it's again a question of, will this end up with more pilots? It's the trade-off of more pilots versus less safer pilots, I guess.
Yeah.
There is, if you want to put it in math, there is probably some curve or a line, and then you can draw a point on that. But
for me, I think so. I've been lucky enough that I have at least 4 times 4 hours flight sim every year, but usually it's more because you will be flying along on some check rides or some training rides to fill in position. Maybe some colleague called in sick, and then you fly out of standby duty. You fly, it's not graded for you, but at least you're there in the flight sim going through the procedure. So that to me, and the way things have changed there, more what we call the evidence-based training concept, where you being thrown into some scenario and then the instructor will monitor, your progress through that scenario, and then if there are any deficiencies visible, then on the second day you can then train specifically in those areas. Be it hand flying or be it in communication skills or workload management, whatever. Right? There's so many different areas that are being graded and looked at, and so it's a nice. Why would you want to train something that those two pilots that you're monitoring are very good at, right?
I think you can start descending by now.
Yeah. So let me just go normal speed again. And then how many miles do we have? 10 minutes. Oh yeah, 10 minutes. So let's put altitude down to 5,000 Martic, and then we go vertical speed.
Remember when you departed, we said, "Oh yeah, you can put in the rest of the flight plan later."
Oh,
what happened?
Oh no, you're right. Yeah,
You didn't do that.
Typical. Yeah, got distracted again.
Yeah.
So we got procedure, select arrival. So Dematic to Romeo. Load. Yeah, good catch though.
Perfect examples of aviation psychology.
Yeah.
We'll do it later. What happens? You don't do it later.
Yeah, exactly. Good demonstration. So let me go and have a look. How do we? No. So if I go select this one here, and then go direct to enter, activate. There we go. All right. So let's go to Whiskey Sierra 832. And there we have to be 5,000 above. So 5,000 is a good value there, right? Get a bit fast here, so let's...
20 miles doing 120, 160 almost.
Yeah, so about 8 minutes, 8,000 feet per minute, 1,000 feet per minute, then yeah, we should be able to reach that. No problem at all. So VNAV function is not included here, I guess. You can... it tells you the vertical speed required.
It is included, it's just that the criteria is not met that you can enable VNAV right now.
Yep.
You're way too... You kind of passed the descent point,
yeah.
So...
Well, it's interesting that if I go reduce the vertical speed a bit, because I have a top descent...
Actually, okay, yeah, then you could just... so 5,000 feet set, then you click VNAV on the autopilot panel.
Yeah, so now it's armed, so I'm just going to set... trying to intercept that path then. Okay.
V-path? But I don't think it really does it on a direct. I don't think it's gonna... No, I don't think it's gonna enable this time. I think it's kind of too late. Because
well, we'll see. We deviated 260 feet below, so keeping fingers crossed. Maybe we're gonna hit the path. Who knows?
No, you should have on the left side of the altitude tape, you should have the V-path.
Okay.
Indicator, but you don't, so it's not.
Okay.
It's not gonna come. You're already past. You're already reaching top of the descent.
But look at this.
What?
It's
Okay.
It's a VNAV path. I don't know. Maybe it's not correctly simulated, but I would assume it is. But
all right, there you go.
so now we have VNAV path. There we go. That answers the question. It works. There it is. No, this is not the SU1 because people told me not to bother because it's bugged in other ways. So, and I haven't been using Microsoft 2024 lately, or a lot lately.
You could pull the power back to about 15 inches. It's a good descent power setting.
15 inches it is.
It keeps at least keeps the CHGs warm enough.
Cool. So we can check the CHGs. Yeah, that's about 400. That's good. Okay, so one more thing to do though. We need to load the procedure. So procedure, select approach. We want to do that RNAV LPV. And the minimums for that, well, it's visual, but just so that we have something in there. So that's the LPV minimum would be 1672 or something. So let's take that borrow and then let's put 1680. No, I'm normal sim right now, Peter. Hello, how are you? Oh. Ah. There was another minimum option somewhere else, wasn't there? Let's have a look. I remember that there was somewhere you could put the minimum in here as well.
Timer ref on the third button from the right on the soft keys.
Thanks. There it is. Okay, there we go. So borrow.
I find it a bit silly that it doesn't automatically put them in.
Yeah, at least put
field elevation.
Yeah. So somewhere close to that. Yeah.
At least start with field elevation. So Salzburg is at 2000, I think.
Yeah. So
you don't have to scroll up so much.
So there we go. Yeah, that's now inserted. Fantastic. Cool. So we're going to fly the LPV. So 5,000 at that waypoint there, and then I'm going to fly to 832 there, and then Salzburg, and then we're going to join that RMP approach Echo LPV only, it says.
So you're flying long haul, if I remember right?
Yeah, 787 now. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't really get new first officers. You always get people who have, of course, worked their way up in the seniority from your company, or have come from a different airline with experience. So you don't really have new pilots. Okay.
That's correct. Yes.
Because I was going to ask you if you've noticed any trends of, first officer quality degradation, you could say.
No,
with
so
the whole ATPL theory and EFIT stuff.
So what I can say, at least for my company, the first officers that we have are extremely well trained. Well trained. They are extremely motivated, extremely well trained, extremely knowledgeable. So, yeah, I have full confidence in their abilities, and I honestly. I've never had a feeling that someone was really bad. If anything, it's more an interpersonal thing. But even there, it's just so rare that you run into issues with someone.
May I ask how many more years you have till retirement?
Years, months. It's October, end of October. I'm retiring.
Oh yeah, true. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm already close to retirement.
So you're gonna buy a small plane and fly around everywhere.
Well, like I said, I'm not going to buy my own plane because I think the price is just so high. I think
it's too much.
I'd rather use that money and fly 20, 30 hours a year. And then just enjoy that. So yeah, definitely going to be continue to fly, be in aviation. Of course, I'm going to be continue to stream, live stream. So I'm going to be in the flight sim business going forward as well. Looking forward to many good add-ons. And yesterday again, it was a great example of enjoying flight simming, and yeah. So it's great to be part of that development.
Mm.
Yeah, I do fly the 787. I'm glad I actually chose to fly it because it is a fantastic aircraft. It really is. So it's non-typical for Boeing, really. because the way they've integrated the fly-by-wire system, and you know, and kept the Boeing philosophy really, you know, with instruments and the procedures and so on. So actually, what's the altimeter here? Let's have a look. It should be 1012. Yeah, and you know, the avionics, the displays. It's fantastic. It is such a comfortable aircraft, and it's really quiet in the flight deck as well, which is also unusual for Boeing aircraft.
So if I look at the METAR for Salzburg right now, it's 1009.
Okay,
Huh?
interesting.
Huh?
Yeah, so maybe I'm...
Of course, use what the game is giving you.
I think it's probably a bit better than
It should actually show up in the G1000 now. If you go on the flight plan page, I think it should show you the reported weather. Nope. Oh, selected waypoint weather. I guess if you scroll down, does it do anything? So small knob, and then a big down to LOWS.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you're right. That's got it. So it says variable 2 knots, no cloud, 10:30. Here it says 1012. Lol. Okay, no more questions.
Vertical track.
Close enough.
Vertical
And it's
track.
1021. That's a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah. All right, so let's have a look. We have to descend further. We're going to go down to actually 4,000. Yeah. So 4,000 it is. And let's go with vertical speed. So now the question is, how does it activate the approach later on? Automatically, or do we have to activate approach manually?
Trying to remember. If you go into the flight plan page, and normally there's a menu activate approach. I guess it's already activated, so I guess
Because we will have to see the path again, right? To fly the LPV, at least I have to press the approach button at some point.
Yeah.
So Whiskey Sierra 816 is the descent point. Unless it didn't load the procedure. Let's activate. There we go. Yeah, now I've got the indications. Cool. So here
I think now it's basically vectoring you directly to the approach. I don't think it's...
Well, we were inbound to the waypoint anyway,
Pretty
so...
much. Okay, yeah.
So that's fine.
It's really hard to remember something when you're not in that situation.
Yeah, yeah. That is true. So looking for the checklist here. Landing data, altimeters, com, nav, FMS, all set. Bearing 1, bearing 2.
I love seeing that autopilot. The way it fights, goes left and it goes right.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the result.
Right, so it's tuned Salzburg, but oh hey, there we go. Bearing 2. There we go. Now I've got Salzburg being at least a needle there as well. Cool. Höllersee, Mozartkugel, hello. To the left here,
Perfect
I guess. Yeah.
The perfect user, I think, has arrived.
How long would it take to fly the DA40 from Austria to Bangkok a long time, several weeks, I would imagine.
Let's put that in Sky Vector and see. What did he say? Bangkok?
Yeah. So let's have a look here for the engine. Looking good. Now, fuel selector full of tank. We'll do that. That's going to be the right tank here. Seatbelts fastened, and then fuel pump. Yeah, put fuel pump on. So turning final, and then we press the approach button, and then on final. We're going to put mixture rich, prop high RPM, flaps to landing. Hey Fornax, yeah, it is. So again, the level of detail included here in the DA40, very nice. I know that we have a lot of there's the airport. We have a lot of GA fans here. Yeah, somebody asked about my settings for Microsoft 2024. I haven't published them anywhere because I'm still trying out things. And now when DLSS 4 is released in a week's time, I think I'm going to change the settings here in Microsoft 2024 again. So all right, so we're inbound, and then I'm going to press the approach button. So glide path is armed, and then now it says LPV. Very nice. Oh, really, Mozart Google? So you come from this area? Beautiful, nice. I have to say, I mean, Vienna is also very nice, but. And I've been in Linz, I've been in Graz, all very beautiful cities. But, I mean, Salzburg is incredible. Really beautiful. I would imagine probably quite expensive to live here as well. So with 8 knots crosswind from the right. Glide path is approaching. Start slowing down.
I need to fly here again. I did it once in my training.
Yeah.
Like coming from the south to the valley is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I was probably like maybe like 200 meters away from the cliff from the side. There was no wind or anything. My instructor just like puts his head out the window in the 172. He's like, you know, I could see the people.
Yeah.
We should probably be a little bit further away. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, if it's no wind, you know, it's very nice and gentle.
Yeah. But yeah, when you land, make sure you go to the left.
Yeah,
to the
Hangar 7. I'm not sure. This is the handcrafted airport. I don't have the payware, I think, for this one, so we'll have to see how that's modeled. Put props for forward.
Yeah, so a power setting for an ILS. Wow, you really have an updraft. Look at your velocity vector.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's around 12 to 15 inches, and the propeller is basically is on the fine stop anyway. So.
Yeah.
Mixture rich as well.
Yeah, mixture is rich.
And fuel selector, fuel pump as well.
Yeah. Fuel pump is on, fuel selector is on the right-hand side. Yeah, you're right. That was some Microsoft simulation again regarding up and down.
And now it's
graphs.
gone, yeah.
Yeah. So here comes flaps landing. And at about 70 knots.
The cool thing with the Diamond is the flap approach speed is basically zero angle of attack. So if you look at your velocity vector and your it's basically the same.
Yeah. So even though you have a pitch down of, let's say, -3 degrees, but yeah, you have the velocity vector equal to the The pitch,
pitch,
so,
yeah.
that's about 0 degrees angle of attack. Yeah, cool, nice. Yeah, the LPV approach here, very nice. Look at that. So on path.
All right, autopilot off.
Autopilot off.
Stop being lazy.
So the Hangar 7, yeah, I would have to look if the Payver version is already working in Maxar 2024. Oh, nice wind here. Yeah, no, look at that updraft again, crazy.
Yeah, it's a bit too much.
Yeah.
We had problems with the 42 when we gave it to our testers initially. Like they would all be there's a power setting on the 42 where it's basically on the power curve, on the dip of the power curve.
Yeah.
So any faster, as you can't go any faster, but if you go any slower, you will eventually stall. Not stall, but just end up behind the power curve.
Okay.
And we had so much conflicting feedback saying like, at this power setting, I'm 20 knots too fast, and one guy's like, I'm 20 knots too slow.
Okay, man, that's
And
annoying.
it's from turbulence because one guy gets an updraft, so he gets 20 knots speed increase, and one guy has a downdraft, and it's basically stalling.
So I don't know what it takes to make that more realistic from programming point of view, but I mean they claimed it to be, what did it say? Didn't they say like 95% accuracy or something like? Yeah, but with what regard,
Yeah.
And then you fly it and they say no, that's just not realistic. So they should go away from the pure academic numbers. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but just somewhere, in a certain range that it just feels realistic.
I mean, I will agree. I will say I did have an updraft like that once in real life. I was in the DA20. I was on final. I was full idle, and I was basically at maximum flap extension speed, and the plane would not go down.
Yeah. But those are the very rare cases, like the very extreme cases, right? So.
But again, that was only like 100 meters, so that was maybe like 3-4 seconds of this situation happening, and then it died. It wasn't like 30 seconds like we had.
I mean, I did a test yesterday in Edinburgh with the storm, and it was just ridiculous the way it simulates that wind speed and turbulences. So lot to be done still.
Yeah.
Okay, so 50 feet idle, and then this time we'll try to flare a bit longer, trying to get the pitch a bit higher.
So I know in Graz we have the displaced threshold pretty similar to here. It's normally basically when I reach the runway end, that's normally when I start pulling the power back.
Okay.
No, wait. Sort of like midway of the displaced threshold, that's when I start pulling power back.
Minimums.
And it sort of floats to the touchdown zone.
Yep. Okay, there we go. Hey, Insane Base. It should feel plausible and coherent. Yeah, it should.
So yeah, like somewhere here I'll be pulling the power back.
Gradually pulling power back. And just continue with 70 knots towards the touchdown zone.
You have to put the nose down and then bleed the speed in the flare.
Get a little bit decrab going. Yeah, there we go. Even had a little stall warning sound. Yeah, nice. Handles very nice, very beautiful. I flew that LPV perfectly. There we go. So
Scenery is loading in now.
yeah. It's just, I don't know. My internet isn't really that slow, so it should load it in. But I don't know. It's just I don't know what it is.
I think the worst part is when the terrain doesn't load, so you just have a wall in front of you.
Yeah. So like, why is the trees in the back here? Why is it loaded in? And then why aren't the trees in the front loaded in? Like, it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, some are photogrammetry and some are generated, so...
Yeah. So Brenold also knows this place.
Yeah, if you send them an email basically the day before, at least 24 hours before arriving, you can get a spot there if there's nothing going on.
Yeah, nice. All right, got to park here.
No, they don't. They're not allowing you in today.
And we'll just park here. Right, so 1000 RPM. Gonna set the parking brake. Very nice. So let's do the rest of the items here. So flaps coming up, pitot heat off, electric fuel pump off, altered air was closed, landing taxi lights off, then transponder standby. Parking brake is set. Engine instruments checked. Let's have a look. Looking all good. CHT looks good. ELT isn't activated. Avionics master off. Is off. All electrical consumers except the strobe lights off. Throttle 1000 RPM.
You have to turn the ignition off really quickly and turn it back on again.
Okay.
It's obviously very tricky with.
See if that works. No, it wasn't fast enough.
Well, hey, the ignition works. The key works.
Okay. Yeah. Right, there we got ignition off, strobe lights off, electric master off. And then canopy open so that we can go outside. Nice. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful aircraft. I'm sure that a lot of people that have already appreciated the DA42 will enjoy this one as well. Tommy, thank you so much for hanging out so long. I know it's been a lot longer than I personally planned, but thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Answering all the questions. And yeah, you said it's coming very soon, so no definite date yet, but very, very soon.
Very soon, yeah.
$25. And then, yeah, so Pilot 19 puts it nicely. So there's, by the way, thank you to the developer for the great plane, which makes GA flying interesting in Microsoft Flight Sim. There we go. That puts it very nicely.
I will say, so after flying the DA42 around a lot in the sim, of course, that's twin engine, water cooled. You can throw the plane around the way you want to, and it doesn't care because it's flying this plane. It really makes me slow down again.
Yeah.
Descend 500 feet per minute, to not cool the engine too much. Climb with only 500 feet per minute to not kill it, and
yeah,
it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, and exactly those that have a real world connection as well to aviation in GA flying, they will appreciate this as well because it's so highly detailed in its model, and again with the failure system, the persistency, wear and tear, that sort of stuff. Great stuff, absolutely. So yes, so Lobodudu, exactly. Greetings to Spain, and yeah, so this is definitely study level. That's what I call study level aircraft, yeah. And it flies very nicely. Pilot 19 says, I hope you do the DA40-NG as well. Well, yeah, we talked about it earlier, but there's other things to concentrate on right now, but you never know. Okay, guys, I will be back on Monday with the next stream, and then Monday we'll definitely do also a group flight again. Maybe Alps tour, VFR tour, we'll have to see. We'll see. Okay, cool. Tommy, once again, thank you so much, and then have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Good night to you all.
You too. Bye.